CFAX Victoria,
an iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning. It is 6 o'clock on Friday, July 31st. Here we are just about to get into the BC day-long weekend. And today we've got sunshine before some rain comes tonight. Full forecast in a moment. Right now, though, let's get the news and say good morning to Lisa Best.
Good morning. Thank you, Ryan. Some Vancouver Island projects are receiving millions in infrastructure funding, including a first-in-Canada wastewater innovation project here in the CRD. Mayor of Metchosin, Mary Therese Little, also says that includes $7 million to build a new fire hall in her community.
For us to have a robust, resilient, collaborative firefighting team and building, we need to move forward on this project. It is of vital importance, not only for Metchosin, but because we are such good regional partners and we have mutual aid agreements around the region, this is important for the region.
The CRD, Capital Regional District, will receive $7 million to develop a facility that converts biosolids from wastewater treatment into carbon-rich materials with the potential use in agriculture, construction, and other industries. Across the pond, Prime Minister Mark Carney in the Vancouver area backing a plan to expand a major port facility in Metro Vancouver, saying the current capacity won't be enough to meet Ottawa's goals for growing and diversifying the economy over the next decade. Carney outlining his support for the Robert Banks Terminal 2 expansion as he toured the existing facility, which is the port in Delta.
The federal government is looking to invest about $10 billion, more than $10 billion, to help expand the port, grow our exports away from the United States by more than 50%, create over 17,000 jobs, 18,000 jobs in the construction of that, another 17,000 jobs full-time in the operation of that additional capacity.
Transport Minister Stephen McKinnon announced earlier this month that Ottawa was referring the expansion plan to Canada's Major Projects Office for possible fast-tracking. Across the BC interior, not on the island at this point, we have 127 fires burning. 4 wildfires of note. We have 49 fires out of control. We've had 7 start in the last day. None of those are on Vancouver Island. We have 3 fires burning. 2 in the northern part of the island are considered being held. 1 closer to Greater Victoria is considered under control. A Boston Bar resident says people defying a wildfire evacuation order are being cast as villains despite having useful expertise and willingness to help fight the blaze. Attila Vangi says a few dozen people stayed behind in the community to protect their homes from the nearby Brunswick complex of wildfires in the recent weeks. The BC Wildfire Service says crews found a man while fighting a fire near Clinton who refused to leave, who later had to be rescued. The service says the resident's property was surrounded by flames after they chose to defy the evacuation order. The federal government says it's opening a new strategic exports office that will help Canada secure international business opportunities. International Trade Minister Manders says that the new Strategic Export Office will be tasked with removing trade irritants, lifting market access barriers, and accessing infrastructure gaps.
One team, one goal. Canadian workers winning abroad as Team Canada and bringing home new international orders to power our economy and create thousands of jobs across our country.
The Liberals have set a target of doubling the non-U.S. exports over the next decade. The government's spring economic update said non-U.S. goods and services exports increased about $33 billion in 2025 over the year prior. Liberal government plans to eliminate the financial contribution required imposed on streaming services by the CRTC. It's indicated in a court document that it plans to replace this requirement with public funding. Earlier in June, the government had stated it would instead provide $600 million in annual money to the sector. Bloc Québécois MP Alex Brunel-Duceppe says the decision is Ottawa caving to the U.S. demands.
This $600 million come from the pocket of all the citizens and all the taxpayer here in Canada and in Quebec. The money is in the pocket of the big company, the multinational company. Again, Mark Carney did a mistake again because he's afraid of Donald Trump and he doesn't get anything in return.
Mark Carney maintains the decision was not made with a view of negotiating with the Americans rather than lowering costs for Canadians. And it's warm here, but it's certainly much hotter down south. Life-threatening heat settling over large parts of the western U.S. Heat alerts up for 70 million people. Extreme heat warnings in place throughout the Los Angeles, Vegas, Phoenix, and Tucson areas. Vegas slated to be 44 Celsius today, 45 tomorrow. But the high heat is also extending north, even into states like Montana. ABC Sam Champion says even on the first day of August tomorrow, some places could be setting monthly records.
All-time August heat, possible in Vegas, also possible in Billings. Guys, August is just starting tomorrow, so this would be the warmest they'd ever seen in August.
There is word that a summer El Nino is highly plausible. That's your news to 6:05. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question. Do you think local police and fire departments should amalgamate? It's pretty split, but 53% saying no. You can vote now at CFAX1070.com, also on the iHeartRadio app. I'm Lisa Best, your news time, 6:07.
Thank you, Lisa. Welcome to Friday. Almost at that BC Day long weekend.
We're
Unless you've already started early.
Probably.
Maybe you're already there.
Pretty quiet around here.
Sunny and 23 degrees is what we can expect, but the rain will come tonight. A full sense of the forecast in just a moment, but there's your quick sketch. Wow, do I have a lot of sports going on right now? I got to get to this. So we've got Victoria Shamrocks, we've got Harbor Cats news, we've got the Pacific FC and the debut of their coach on home turf tonight. So much going on. BC Lions in action. Okay, let's start with the Shamrocks. So Victoria Shamrocks finished off their regular season last night with a 6-1 win over the New Westminster Salmon Bellies. With that, they clinched first place overall in the Western Lacrosse Association standings. I think there was no doubt that was going to happen, but it's rubber stamped now. Their playoffs begin on Tuesday. And then the Junior A Shamrocks, already in their playoffs, were in action last night at the Q Center. 15-7 win over the Coquitlam Adnax. The series is now tied at 1 game apiece. Over to baseball, Victoria Harbor Cats defeated the Port Angeles Lefties 5-1 at Wilson's Group Stadium at Royal Athletic Park, completing a series sweep. A strong pitching performance featuring Flynn Warren, allowing no runs across 4 innings with 6 strikeouts. In the majors, Dylan Cease gets the start tonight as the Toronto Blue Jays open up a 3-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals at Rogers Center. That's in the majors. Now I want to come back local for a second because Pacific FC at home tonight. And this match against FC Supra de Quebec at Starlight Stadium marks a crucial fresh start for the team, at least we hope so. It is the homecoming debut of Terry Dunfield, the former Canadian national team midfielder, who officially took over as coach recently, but we haven't actually seen him coach on home turf yet. The team is having its toughest season in franchise history, sitting in last place. That's 8th place in the Canadian Premier League with an 0-3-10 record. No wins yet this season. Dunfield's first match was last week on the road, resulted in that heartbreaking 3-2 injury time loss to Atletico Ottawa. So let's see if the home field advantage helps out. And then BC Lions in action last night right here on the radio. Maybe you heard it here on CFAX. We saw the BC Lions beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 35-19, and with that the Lions improved to 2-5. With the win, Winnipeg drops to 4-4. That's your sports to 6:09. CFAX 1070 traffic and weather. It's 6:10. No major issues right now on the roads. Things are moving pretty smoothly at this early morning hour. No volume delays, no crashes, but you can text me at 71010 if you see anything. For BC Ferries, let's talk about the busy travel weekend. It's already been very jammed up at BC Ferries all this week, and I think today is expected to be one of the peak days. 7 o'clock sailing is 90% full right now, and there are heavily reserved sailings all through the day so far. Right now, there's room on everything, but not much. For the weather forecast, let's tell you about this weekend. So sunshine to start today, maybe a little breezy off the Juan de Fuca Strait. Highs to 23 degrees and maybe even feeling a little warmer in the humidity. There's a humidex of 26. Tonight starts clear, so showers are coming, but it might not be until closer to midnight or even a little after midnight. It actually stays fairly clear right through sunset. Then we get into those showers tonight. Lows down to 14 degrees. The wind picking up a bit. The showers are with us in the morning tomorrow. And then we've got a risk of a thunderstorm in the afternoon. Highs of 20. It starts to clear up for Sunday, though. We get into some sunshine. Highs of 20. Monday, which is BC Day. Sunny, highs of 25. And then all next week, it looks like we just kind of stay there. Sunshine, temperatures into the mid-20s. And overnight lows down to about 12 degrees with clear skies. That's what we've got all through next week, at least in our long-range forecast, once we get through this little rainy patch coming at us sort of tonight into Saturday. Right now, let's take a look at the temperatures. For Oak Bay, 13 degrees right now. In Colwood, it is also 13 degrees. North American stock market's opening up a little later this hour, so let's take a look at how things closed off yesterday. Here's Aaron Sousa.
Canadian and U.S. stock markets rose yesterday. Toronto's S&P TSX gained 172 points to 35,505. In New York, the Dow gained 613 points, while the Nasdaq added 679. In Tokyo this morning, the Nikkei surged 4%, and the Hang Seng in Hong Kong edged up slightly. Our dollar is trading overseas at 71.33 cents U.S. WestJet and its flight attendants union still negotiating a new contract, this ahead of a possible strike that could start as early as Sunday. If no deal is reached, hundreds of flights could be cancelled over the long weekend. StatCan is expected to release real GDP results this morning. The agency will also provide a flash estimate for June. Early indications point to a 0.1% increase for May. And Canada's Northern Affairs Minister says changes to the Nutrition North program are coming this fall. Rebecca Chartrand says Ottawa is looking at all options to tackle food insecurity in northern communities. They include better support for local supply chains and harvesters. From the Canadian Press, I'm Aaron Sousa.
Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on Friday. I'm Ryan. We got Lisa here. Lisa, how you doing?
I'm good. It's Friday.
It's Friday.
We're there.
Although you had a bit of a mishap on the way into work today, I understand.
Oh, well, okay. Well, my last day in, yeah.
Because you're going to be off next week, right?
Yes, I'm going to have a staycation.
Ooh.
I'm going to chill out, and I'm going to be a. I'll get to the story in a second. I'm going to be a, what do you call that? A hometown tourist.
I love it.
I'm going to throw some crazy cash around Victoria. And I'm gonna be on a pickle boat. I have never been on a pickle boat.
What? You've never been?
I've never stepped foot on a pickle. I've been on boats.
That's great.
Different boats. Never on a pickle boat. I have to take a pickle boat. So I'm going to find a destination or whatever. Just get on the pickle boat and tour around the harbor. You know how they do that little dance?
Yeah.
I'd like to be part of that eventually.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've always loved, because I live on the Esquimalt side of things. Sometimes it's fun to have an excuse to I'm going to go to Barb's Fish and Chips, and I'm going on a pickle boat.
I want that mentality.
Yeah.
I want to be able to say, I want to go there, but I don't want to get in the car and drive. I don't want to walk. I don't want to scoot or ride the motorcycle. I want to get on a boat. There's
Excellent.
there's a joy to that. Anyway, speaking of which, closer to the boats on Wharf Street.
Yeah?
You know how the seagulls always zig and zag in front of your vehicle when you're driving down Wharf Street?
It's kind of buzz you as you go?
They do buzz you. Well, one got it wrong this morning.
Oh, did you hit a seagull?
No, it hit me.
Yeah.
It's not like I can drive up on the sidewalk and get away from it. They zig and zag in front of the vehicles all the time. And I'm thinking they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're professionals. They're like the snowbirds once removed. No.
Because I always just have faith that birds will figure it out, and they're just going to get out of the way. They know what they're doing. I'm not even going to think about trying to avoid this bird.
Yeah, 99% of the time I would say that's true. I was the 1% this morning. Wow. Had I been doing faster than 30, it would have been a different story for me and the seagull. Because I know he's bruised, but not broken. It was a big oomph, and I thought for a moment, is the windshield going to hold, or am I going to have a bird in my lap?
Yeah, because seagulls are big, so it didn't leave any mark on your windshield at all?
No, because it was. I don't speed through there. There's so much going on through there.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. The speed limit is 30. So sometimes you probably agree with me on this. Sometimes you even have to go less than that. Obviously, there's a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning, there's not a lot of traffic, but you still have to watch because there's just so much happening. And the birds are just one of those things. So yeah, it hit full on the windshield hard because it's a big bird. And I thought, I'm looking for cracks, couldn't see anything, but I'm sure he's got some bruises. His wife called. She says he's okay.
Oh, no.
We were talking a couple of weeks back about wildlife encounters, and people always say, well, they get out of the way. Maybe they will. You know, the upside we have, and I tell my students this, the upside we have to the deer here, they are so quasi-domesticated now.
Oh, that they don't bolt as much?
They don't.
Yeah.
And I've had some bolt, and when they bolt, they really bolt, and then they start sliding on the pavement. But most are so quasi-domesticated that they actually use the crosswalk. You know, they just kind of look at you with the side eye going, yeah, I know you're there. And you stop, take pictures, and they'll pose. So all of that, and I'm joking, of course, but all of that, you don't want to go near them, but they have sharp parts, and they will hurt you if you get too close. But they're domesticated to the point where the loud noises don't scare them. And that's kind of a good thing if they're going to be urban animals, because they're not going to, deer are prey animals, so they'll zigzag in front of you, and you can't guess where they're going to go next. So you pretty much have to come to a full stop. So with that, if they're not in front of you or in front of your vehicle, that's a good thing. But the birds, today one got it wrong.
I feel like I'm a little shaken by this because, again, I just assume the bird is going to get out of the way. That is just when I'm driving, I'm like, I'm not going to think about these birds. I see them there. They're right in front of me, but they got this figured out. They know what they're doing. Right. And then in this case, it didn't. Now I'm going to have to think twice next time I approach a seagull on the road.
What can you do? You know, when they're right in front of the car and they swoop quite low, there was nothing I could do. But I'll tell you, I didn't need coffee after that. It was very jarring.
Yeah.
And any more speed, if I had been going any faster, it would have turned out much differently. It probably would have come through the windshield, and then there would have been an injured bird involved, and that would have not been good, especially in close quarters.
What a start to your day.
Yeah, so new things happening.
Yeah, crazy. Well, it's 6:18. Let's get some headlines in there. But there's your top story. Woman versus bird. Bird loses. What else is going on?
Bird has got a hangover. Stats Canada expected to report real gross domestic product results in the month of May. Early indications from last month pointed to a 0.1% rise in real GDP for the month of May. The agency also was given a flash estimate for June. Results from both months will provide Stats Canada's first estimate for where the economy ended up in the second quarter, followed by two second consecutive quarterly declines in real GDP. And of course, those numbers now, says Stats Canada, says the economy expanded 0.3% in May, topping the agency's initial expectations for real gross domestic product in 1 month. So we've got those numbers in. BC government is contributing up to $300,000 towards a $1.5 million expansion of Indigenous-owned Salish soils in Seychelles. Make that again. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Salish soils in Seychelles. There we are. The project will increase production of compost, soil, and other recycled organic products while creating 4 new jobs. The province says the expansion will improve efficiency, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and divert more organic waste from landfills. The funding is part of the province's manufacturing job fund and the Look West strategy to spur economic growth. And that is your news to 6:19.
I've got something for you, Lisa.
Okay.
Can I play you something?
There's a flock of seagulls.
You ran over some pigeons. How many?
No.
Whatever they had. Miranda thinks I'm a butcher, but it's not my fault, is it? Don't we have a deal with the pigeons?
Of course we have a deal. They get out of the way of our cars. We look the other way on the statue defecation.
Right. And these pigeons broke the deal. I will not accept the blame for this.
So Miranda's cooled on you.
I'm getting nothing.
We got to deal with the pigeons, right?
Well, we have a deal with the
seagulls
too. The seagulls here too. I mean, let's face it. Who really owns Victoria? It's the deer and the seagulls. Don't kid yourself.
Texter at 71010 says, sending a song for Lisa, Seagull by Bad Company. Glad you're okay. Thumbs up, says the texter.
Yeah, I hope the bird's okay too.
Yeah. Yeah. We got a deal. Didn't we have a deal?
We have a deal with the Seagulls, too.
I was thinking of George Costanza during your...
It's kind of like the U.S. and Canada. I'm not sure if we're coming out winning, but...
All right.
We're trying.
Well, hey, if you had a bird encounter like that, you can let us know at 71010. But there's something else I want to talk about. We'll take our break, get our traffic and weather updated. But there is a restaurant in Victoria, all-you-can-eat place, which has an interesting message posted to its social media, asking people to eat less at the all-you-can-eat place. However, they got a good reason for it, and we'll explain next. CFAX traffic and weather, by the way, the whole morning show brought to you by Coastal Heat Pumps. For big savings on your heating bill, a comfortable home, no matter the season, talk to Coastal Heat Pumps. Designed for comfort, South Island's Elite Plus Fujitsu Air Stage dealer. No particular issues on the roads right now. We will have that road work, though, again at Burnside and Washington. It caused a bit of a delay yesterday, and it's going to again today, and it's going to again next week as well, because that work will continue into next week. For the BC Ferries, we did fill up the 7 o'clock sailing from Sports Bay to Swanson. That's just a first taste of what will be a busy day, I think, at BC Ferries. Be aware of that. They were telling us yesterday, we had a spokesperson for BC Ferries on. They said this is like their busiest travel weekend of the year, the BC Day Long Weekend. So plan accordingly. For the weather forecast for this BC Day Long Weekend, sunny through the day, sometime around midnight or a little after. That's when the rain is expected to start. Some showers through the morning tomorrow, a risk of a thunderstorm in the afternoon. But then it starts to clear up, and by Sunday, we're into sunshine again. Highs of 20. And for BC Day Monday, sunshine, highs of 25.
The best way to start an island morning. Ryan and Lisa on CFAX 1070.
I want to tell you what this all-you-can-eat restaurant had to say in just a moment. But first, just a couple more text messages after your seagull encounter. Texter says, glad you're okay, Lisa. Let's hope it wasn't an Empress Hotel seagull.
Right.
For context, look up Benedict Cumberbatch reads apology letter to the Empress Hotel. Have a great day from Chris.
I had no sliced meats, deli meats, or sausage in the car.
If you don't know the context of that, do look that up. Benedict Cumberbatch and the seagull thing.
We should give it just a little bit of the story.
Just a little bit of the story.
Yeah.
There's this event where I guess famous people read the best letters. It's like a celebration of wonderfully written letters.
Right.
And one of the days was a letter that a guy wrote to the Empress Hotel. He was a visitor who had a bunch of pepperoni in his suitcase.
Yes.
And he leaves his hotel room. When he comes back, the seagulls have gotten in and chaos ensues. And he's writing
He put it in the window well. He left the window open.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
but didn't he have the meat out because or chilling or something?
Something like that. He's trying to keep it cool on a hot day. They found it. It's I'm the way I'm saying it's not that interesting. The way he tells it in the letter, as read by Benedict Cumberbatch, is worth a Google. So the guy
was banned for life. I think because they trashed the hotel room.
Yeah,
that's our other sequel story.
Yeah,
that one's infamous here. That's almost urban legend because people don't believe it, but it did happen.
I love it.
Okay. Back to the food.
Okay, so I just wanted to finish up on the bird thing. Yeah. But okay, so there is a restaurant in Victoria. It's called Driftwood Restaurant right downtown. It's a Chinese buffet. So it's all you can eat.
Yes.
But they've got this message on their social media page. It's on their Facebook where they're asking people to not eat so much. Here's what they say, though. I'm going to read it out.
Yeah, read it because it's not just eating so much. It's about food for thought.
At Driftwood Chinese Buffet, we're proud to offer a wide variety of freshly prepared dishes for everybody to enjoy. But every day, we also see something heartbreaking. Plates of perfectly good food left behind. Food doesn't just appear on the buffet. It represents the hard work of our farmers, fishermen, suppliers, chefs, and service team. It also uses valuable resources like water and energy and time. And then they're asking, finish what's on your plate before you get more.
Like Mom said.
Come back as many times as you'd like to try different dishes. Mm-hmm. Together, let's reduce food waste and care for our planet. You can always go back for more, but food that ends up on the plate is going to end up in the garbage and never gets a second chance.
Right.
Thank you to every guest who helps us protect our environment and respect the food we serve.
Right.
I was really captivated by this message because at first I thought it was just funny. Is there a buffet trying to tell you not to eat all you can eat at the all you can eat place? But no, actually, I think now that I've read it, they're making a very good point.
Oh, they are my new heroes. In fact, I have decided with my family that we're actually going to go to that restaurant. Okay. Haven't gone yet. My brother-in-law's been asking because he loves the whole Chinese buffet. But they're my new heroes because someone finally said it. A restaurant finally said it, what everybody's thinking, that we're wasteful. And we shouldn't be wasteful. With food insecurity the way it is, how do we continue to do that? And I think more and more people are very much getting on the bandwagon of, look, I don't want to waste. I want to use what I have. I don't want to throw anything out. I think that's becoming more and more prevalent. And unfortunately for some of us, we all have it. Price is part of that. But here's a restaurant that regardless of, how it works, you eat it or they throw it out. They're tired of seeing it go to waste. And I really like the community awareness that they've put forward. I got to admit, I also I can't stand things like hot dog eating contests or pie eating contests where you just consume as fast as you can. I don't personally, and this is just me, I don't like that because it's a little gluttonous. It's supposed to be funny, but in today's world, we need food and we need to be able to share more and we need enough to go around. And food is so expensive now. It's become a precious commodity. And so with that, I really applaud them for putting that out there because they're going to take it on the chin with some people.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what you think about that. If you want to weigh in at 7-10-10, would you get your back up if an all-you-can-eat place told you to, hey, slow down, calm down,
No,
don't
they're
eat.
not saying that. But they're saying just finish what's on your plate before you take more, or don't
exactly.
waste.
Yeah, well, which side of that would you be on?
Right.
I think you could definitely interpret it both ways.
True.
I would love to hear from you. But I think, for me, thumbs up to the Driftwood Restaurant for this message. I think they did a great job of trying to communicate it. They also, you can't see it on the radio, but they've just posted a bunch of pictures of what people leave behind. There's full plates of stuff that just gets left and not eaten.
You see that all the time.
I could see why they'd be heartbroken over that site when they go to clear a table, all this food they just made that's now garbage.
Agreed. And if you're wondering where they are, by the way, they're at, is it Broad and View? Broad and Yates.
Yates, yeah.
Broad and Yates.
Street.
There were the...
Azuma, was it?
Yeah, there was a sushi place there. And since last winter, it flipped and it became this all-you-can-eat. Very popular.
Yeah, they've had them up island as well. I think this is it expanded down into Victoria. Yeah.
Good on them.
Hey, 6:30 News coming up next.
This summer, 3 of Vancouver Island's biggest voices are coming together to make a real difference.
Get your tickets now for the Kids Count Mega Summer 50-50.
Brought to you by 107.3 Virgin Radio, CFAX 1070, and CTV.
In support of CFAX Santa's Anonymous all-new Kids Count program, supporting children beyond Christmas.
The Mega Summer 50-50.
Your chance to win big while giving back.
Buy your tickets today at CFAX1070.com.
Gaming event license 174660. CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
It's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, 6:32 on Friday, July 31st. A sunny day, quite warm, but then around about midnight, the rain comes in and lasts through parts of Saturday. We'll get you a full forecast in just a moment. Right now, the news begins. Here is Lisa Best.
Thank you and good morning. It's a long weekend of turbulence for some flyers. Anyone looking to still take WestJet is holding a nervous ticket. Today marks the beginning of the airline's process to gradually start winding down operations and anticipation of that possible strike by some 4,400 flight attendants as of Sunday. CTV's Janice Golding has details and reaction from travelers at Pearson Airport in Toronto.
It's a little unsettling. I don't know if I'm going to be having a flight returning home.
We are supposed to come back on Saturday evening, so fingers crossed.
The union representing 4,400 flight attendants says it has a 99.4% strike mandate and it has issued a 72-hour strike notice. Planes could be completely grounded come Sunday.
The flight cancellations will start Friday. It'll be in earnest on Saturday, so that by Saturday night, the airline will have been able to bring everybody home.
In the event of a strike, aviation management expert John Gradek says long-haul flights will be the first to be canceled.
Bad weekend to have this happen, of course, with everybody traveling, but of course, maximum impact for the union and to get the message across. Meantime, both WestJet and the union representing flight attendants say they do remain at the negotiating table, where a pay increase and a policy to address unpaid working hours remains the key sticking points. Here on the island, Vancouver Island projects are receiving millions in infrastructure funding, including a first-in-Canada wastewater innovation project in the CRD and upgrades to fire halls in Metchosin and Up Island and Comox. The CRD to receive $7 million to develop a facility that converts biosolids from wastewater treatment into carbon-rich material with potential uses in agriculture, construction, and other industry. CRD Chair and Sydney Mayor Cliff McNeil-Smith explains.
The residual solids from the wastewater treatment process at the plant are conveyed to our residuals treatment facility located at CRD's Heartland landfill, where they are then processed into Class A biosolids. The CRD has been pursuing sustainable and cost-effective opportunities to maximize the value of these biosolids for community benefit.
Breaking down some of the money, the town of Comox receiving $5 million to upgrade its fire station, which has been in place for about 50 years. $7 million will support a new fire hall in Metchosin. Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada must increase port capacity to meet Ottawa's goals of growing and diversifying the economy over the next 10 years, trading more with Asian countries and moving exports away from the U.S.
When you look at the capacity of Port of Vancouver, it's bigger than the capacity of the next 5 biggest ports in Canada combined. But within the next decade, it's not going to be enough. And it's certainly not going to be enough if we're going to grow this economy, become stronger, more independent, more diversified.
Ottawa has referred the Port of Vancouver's Robert Bank Terminal 2 expansion project to Canada's Major Projects Office for possible fast-tracking, with Carney outlining his support for the proposal during a tour of the existing facility in Delta. And that is your news to 6:35. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question, we're asking, do you think local police and fire departments should amalgamate? 53% say no. You can vote at CFAX1070.com. Also on the iHeartRadio app. And Lisa, best your news time is 6:37.
Hey, thanks, Lisa. We got lots of texters on this topic. If an all-you-can-eat place told you to take less or, don't be as wasteful, would you take this as a good thing or would you be offended by it? We got people weighing in at 7-10-10, and we're going to get into some of those messages in just a moment. But first to the sports. Because we got so much going on. BC Lions on the radio yesterday right here on CFAX 1070. They got the win, beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 35-19, and running back Xander Horvath scored 3 touchdowns for the BC Lions in that effort. His performance helped rookie BC quarterback Caden Salter with his first ever start in the CFL. Lions improved to 2-5 with the win. So many local things going on for Pacific FC, our local soccer team. They're at home tonight. It's a match against FC Supra de Quebec at Starlight Stadium, and it marks the big home debut of the new coach, Terry Dunfield, the former Canadian national team midfielder who officially took over recently. He was there in the last game on the road, which was a heartbreaking 3-2 injury time loss to Atletico Ottawa, but they were so close. What can they do tonight? Starlight Stadium, we'll see them on home turf. Victoria Shamrocks finishing off their regular season with a 6-1 win over the New Westminster Salmon Bellies yesterday, clinching first place overall in the WLA standings. There was no doubt about that, but it's official now. And the playoffs begin Tuesday for the Shamrocks. Junior A Shamrocks are already in the playoffs. Last night they were in Game 2 against the Coquitlam Adanacs. Victoria with the win, 15-7. Series now tied up at 1 game apiece. And the Victoria Harper Cats in action last night, defeating the Port Angeles Lefties 5-1 at Wilson's Group Stadium, Royal Athletic Park, completing a series sweep. That's your sports to 6:38. CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Coastal Heat Pumps. For a comfortable home no matter the season. Big savings on your heating bill. Talk to Coastal Heat Pumps, designed for comfort. The South Island's Elite Plus Fujitsu Air Stage dealer. We are on the roads looking fairly typical right now. Light volume, comparatively speaking, from the West Shore into Victoria right now. No major crashes, no major construction blips at the moment, but they will have that single lane alternating traffic at Burnside and Washington yet again today, and also all next week. BC Ferry 7 o'clock sailing is full. The 8 o'clock sailing is about 90% full. It's going to be a busy day at BC Ferries heading into the long weekend. And in the weather, sunny for today, highs of 23, maybe feeling a little more humid, so it could be a warm feeling day. Then the rain comes in sometime overnight tonight. There's a risk of a thunderstorm by tomorrow afternoon. Then it's clear for the rest of the long weekend, Sunday and Monday, sunny skies. Temperatures by Monday up to 25 degrees. A little cooler on Sunday, more like 20 degrees as we kind of start to come out of that rainy patch. Right now it is 13 in Victoria.
Let's get started. Start your day informed and entertained. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Listeners weighing in as we talk about this all-you-can-eat buffet in downtown Victoria, posting on its Facebook page, urging people to take less, eat less. Mm-hmm. At least, don't waste as much is really the message.
Yeah.
They're saying at the buffet, you can always go back for more, but food that ends up in the garbage never gets a second chance, and they're urging people to take a little less. What do you think about a message like this from an all-you-can-eat place? This texter at 71010 says, about Driftwood, I think it's a perfectly reasonable thing to ask people to be responsible and not gluttonous. Just because it's all you can eat doesn't mean it should be all you can waste.
Yeah.
This texter has great advice. Yeah, I like that. It's a good message. This texter says, here's a tip. Take a bite-sized portion of something new to you, and then go back for more if you like it.
So do you do that? Because I do that at any buffet.
Yeah.
I'll take one of something or a little bit, and then if I really like it, I'll go back and have more. But I won't take a bunch of it. If I don't like it, I don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of dabble in it and see. That's a good advice again.
This texter says, I applaud that restaurant. And remember that when we were kids, our parents would say, there's people starving in, such and such foreign country.
Right.
And with the price of food right now, we've got people starving in our own backyard.
Yeah.
So that's a
Food
great message.
insecurity is a real thing, even in this province and even in this area. You talk to Christine from Santa's Anonymous. She'll tell you about kids not getting fresh fruit and vegetables. So, yeah, being wasteful is a thing of the past.
Well, so far, everybody is on the side of the restaurant. So here's another text at 71010. Yep, to the buffet place, I think that was a gentle message, and I agree. But truth be told, it is turning out to be a very Canadian type of request. Then another texter says, let's see here. Good morning. I've been there. The servers are lovely, work fast and efficient. The food is replenished very quickly. Place runs well. Then there are the wasteful diners. I saw a lot of waste. Raised in Hong Kong with a mixed Eurasian background and grandparent stories of starving people during the Second World War, you just learn to take what you can eat.
Right.
Yeah.
Take what you're going to finish, basically. Finish your plate. It's not an unreasonable request. We've just gotten used to leaving something behind, which shouldn't necessarily be the norm moving forward.
Texter says, Ryan, get it straight. They say waste less, not take less. No, you're right. But I just think that the message, like when you first glance at it, it comes across as the all-you-can-eat place telling you to eat less. But once you read into it, then you get the real message, which is, as you say, it's waste less. That is what they're trying to get to. I think they personally, texter, I think they do a great job of getting that message across. I'm just kind of curious how it goes over with everybody else. And so far, everybody who's texted in agrees with the message. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, it is. It's quite comforting, actually. Why would you want to waste in the first place? And when we do, and we have to throw it out of our own fridge, and I'm guilty as charged, I feel bad. I feel terrible about it. It's like, why didn't I get that right? I think we should redesign refrigerators.
Yeah? How so?
100%. Well, refrigerators in the 50s, like the 30s to the 50s, they actually had a Lazy Susan inside.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those.
Spin them.
Yeah.
That you could see everything.
So you wouldn't get that jar that's stuck at the back for 4 years that you forgot about? Okay, I see.
Like the way that fridges, and even with the freezer down below, the freezer section below, and you can stare, it's a bit better. Those standing fridges that, you're looking eye to eye with everything and the freezer compartment's below. But if you have a regular refrigerator where the freezer compartment is above and then the fridge is below, you're always having to dip down and try to dig in an awkward position to try to find particular food products. Redesign refrigerators so that it makes it easier for the consumer to find products and not waste products. I'm not blaming the fridge, of course, but I'm seeing this is something that we could have in our toolbox that would help us with not wasting too.
Bring back the fridge Lazy Susan.
They had some good ideas back then for
I'm on board.
appliances.
Love it.
Yeah,
okay.
they worked well.
All right, what other good ideas you got? You can always join the conversation at 71010. But right now it's 6:45 and time for the news with Lisa.
BC wildfire situation. We have 127 fires currently burning actively. 49 considered out of control. 9 new starts in the last 24 hours. The 3 fires burning on Vancouver Island are either considered being held or under control, which is good news. A cold front with gusty winds expected to move across the province by tomorrow, creating conditions that could possibly grow the flames faster. The weather says could bring extreme fire behavior to communities already threatened. The BC Wildfire Service says many areas remain extremely dry, including across Vancouver Island and the south parts of the province. Highly flammable fuels increase the likeliness of new starts. So as we head out to a long weekend, and if you're going camping, remember that there is a campfire ban on. You can't light them, and there have been over $21,000 worth of fines given out just in the first bit for this, and you don't want to be a person that receives a fine either from wildlife officials. Following the death of an 11-year-old Calgary boy with autism, calls are growing now for a Canada-wide framework for public alerts, in addition to the Amber Alerts, which are currently limited to abduction cases. This past Wednesday, Calgary police sharing the sad news that 11-year-old Parker had been found dead inside the city's underground system of pipes almost 14 days after he disappeared. According to Autism Canada, nearly half of children with autism are prone to wandering, and emergency alert systems are not properly equipped to respond when a vulnerable child disappears. And Alberta has hired some canine muscle to fight invasive mussels. Muscles on the muscles, if you will. 2 black labs and a black lab cross are going to work with humans who scan boats entering the province to make sure these invasive mussels don't make it in with the boat. The humans use their hands and eyes, but Hilo, Jane, and Winnie, as they're named, use their noses. Mussels can hog food from other creatures in the water in large numbers and can lead to fewer and smaller fishes in lakes. So the canines can sniff these out and take them off boats, and then they're not entering our waters. That's your news to 647.
A couple more text messages on our all-you-can-eat discussion. Texter says, in some cultures, it is bad manners to eat everything on your plate because it means the host didn't give you enough food. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
There's a thing you gotta think about.
That's true.
And this texter says, a restaurant in St. Jacobs, Ontario had a sign, and it said, take all you want, but eat all you take, which was wise advice. That's from Glenn in Esquimalt. Thanks for
They could start
texting
fining
in.
people.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something? You didn't finish your pickle. We'll just wait.
This texture's great. You mentioned the other thing about food waste is not just the all-you-can-eat buffet; it's the fridge. You were saying you like the idea of the Lazy Susan that used to be in the old 50s fridges as a way to not forget about food and waste it. This texture says, Lisa, I have purchased 2 small Lazy Susans and put them in my fridge for small jars, bottles, and it works wonderfully.
Well, that's really smart.
So you could just install them yourself.
Yeah, if they can
That's
fit.
a great idea.
It's about the size, though, because I don't find fridges that deep. But
That's true.
That's a good idea.
Well, you can keep the messages coming at 71010, but we're going to change topics in just a moment because I want to talk about, there was news recently, Lisa, about direct-to-consumer sales for alcohol in Canada. It's one of the ways we're trying to break down some of those interprovincial trade barriers. But what exactly does this mean? What is this changing, and does it go far enough? Do you know who's got thoughts on this? The Dork Uncorked, Rod Phillips, who I do the wine show with.
Yes.
He's deeply involved in all this stuff, and he's going to give us a hot take on this coming up next.
From CFAX 1070.
Here's what's happening around the island. Victoria Symphony presents Symphony in the Summer Festival, July 10th through August 9th. Details at victoriasymphony.ca. Catch all the excitement of summer baseball with the Victoria Harbour Cats. More info at harbourcats.com. Have an event you want featured on CFAX 1070? Text us at 71010 to be featured. Get more event info at CFAX1070.com.
If it's happening, it's here.
CFAX 1070.
CFAX Mornings are brought to you by Thrifty Foods. Heading out on a summer road trip? Well, shop at Thrifty Foods and swipe your Scene Plus card to save up to 15 cents per liter at Shell. See in store for details. For the roads, no crashes or problems like that on the roads right now, but you can text me at 71010 if you see anything. BC Ferries is busy today. It's going to be one of the busiest travel weekends of the year for BC Ferries. And from Swartz Bay to Swassen, the 7 o'clock sailing is full. The 8 o'clock is 90% full and a possible sailing wait. The weather is clear to start today. Highs of 23 and a humidex of 26, so feeling even warmer in the humidity. We start the evening clear, but overnight somewhere the rain begins, and we'll see some showers through Saturday, even a risk of a thunderstorm. But clears up for the rest of the long weekend, sunny for Sunday and Monday. Right now, temperature-wise, in Victoria, downtown, we're looking at 13 degrees.
It's all here. News, weather, traffic, and community events. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Let's explore an issue of interprovincial trade in Canada and wine, because there was this thing that came out fairly recently, a Canada-wide direct-to-consumer alcohol sales agreement, as we continue to try to tear down some of those interprovincial trade barriers. So this issue's in the news. We're trying to explain it a bit and figure out how big of a deal this is. So the guy we love to talk wine and interprovincial trade with, because those two things intersect, is the dork uncorked Rod Phillips. Him and I do the show, of course, on the weekend together. It's great that I could get you here on the mornings during the week, Rod, to talk a bit more about this issue. So thanks for joining us.
You're very welcome. Happy to be here.
This is cool. Now, I also want to talk to you about this because you and I have actually spoken about these kind of issues on the Dork Uncorked show for many years, because it's just interesting how weird Canada's alcohol sales systems and regimes are. And in this particular case, it seems like a way to try to make some improvements. At least that's what it seems. Why don't you walk us through in your give us your take on what is happening here, and then we'll kind of get into whether or not this is a big deal.
Yeah, so I'll start by saying what the agreement is. The agreement is the 9 premiers, so not including Nunavut or Northwest Territories, have agreed that consumers in their area can order and receive products from other provinces. So those suppliers in those other provinces are legally now allowed to ship to those customers. Before, they weren't allowed to.
Yeah, which is weird. This is why I think these stories are interesting, because I think if you don't know much about this stuff, you would just assume you could do this. This is your own country. Of course, I could buy something in one part of the country if I'm in a different part. Why wouldn't you? It's madness to think that you can't, that like if you are in Alberta and you want to order a BC wine, that there's some sort of weird, invisible barrier preventing you from doing that. But there has been.
There has been. It's part of our federal setup is what these setups are. So beverage alcohol and the retailing and distribution of it fall under the purview of each province. And so over the years since Prohibition, all of these rules and regulations have grown up in each province, and each province actually has a prohibition against their residents purchasing those kind of products, beverage alcohol, from other regions. Well, now consumers can do that. So that's great. To me, that is a great first step, and I'll come back to that in a second. What it actually means is not much that isn't happening already. And let me unpack that a little bit. So a lot of wineries for years, if they get they have a Shopify account or whatever it is, and so their website is on there. Somebody comes out here from Toronto, tastes the wine, and says, I want that. They go home and they order a case over the supplier's website. Now it's actually, many wineries were doing this anyway. So they were just shipping it. Like they were just doing it and, asking for forgiveness, right?
Yeah. It might not have been allowed, but yeah.
So all this agreement has done is essentially made that legal. Made something that was illegal that people were doing anyway, made it legal. Because there was really no efficient way to enforce it. Plus, it does, the idea is that it is going to be opening up more revenue within Canada than north-south. But like I said a little bit earlier, this is the first step. I'm hoping that this is a first step. Because here's the thing. If you were to talk to, and I've talked to several wineries and breweries that, about their opinions on this, it is cheaper, until recently, it is cheaper for them to strike up relationships directly with consumers in the U.S. and distributors in the U.S. than it is to sell across Canada.
Yeah, again, madness, but it's been the case.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and that part of that is all about the various markups that happen in each and every province and all the different rules that BC has versus Alberta about having a product for sale in the province. So the incentive there, the economic incentive for the suppliers is to find relationships in the U.S., or Australia or China or wherever, because it's cheaper and more profitable to sell in those markets than it is to make arrangements to sell in other Canadian markets. That's the part that is crazy. And I say until recently, until Trump in his infinite dementia slapped another 50% tariff, which includes Canadian wine. So now it's not as profitable, but interestingly enough, still is. It still is a better deal to ship to the U.S. than it is to ship across Canada.
Even with these new 50% tariffs he's threatening?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
So,
wow.
Again, if the Prime Minister and the Premiers, and if Premier Eby, you're listening, which I know you do, here's the nirvana. What unlocks far more revenue for every province across the country is to have a national distribution system. Let's not make it a bunch of fiefdoms. Let's not make it about 10 states. Even in the U.S. that has 50 states, there's still cross-state line distributors, yet there's slightly different taxation rules in each state. So, but here in Canada, let's get rid of all these problems. Let's have a national distribution system, whereby essentially the warehouses in BC are fulfillment centers. I'm using an Amazon term. But to me, that is where the big unlock comes. That unlock, what I'm referring to is the economic unlock. All of a sudden, all the money that is being earned by virtue of North-South relationships is now being earned in Canada. Now, obviously, the U.S. is a bigger market, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a market for every single brewery. One of the toughest things for these little breweries in BC and Alberta and all the way across the country is that they're limited to their home markets, because otherwise it's just too expensive. So,
wow. And those things are not necessarily getting addressed here. So that's why you say this is a first step. We're talking about the fact that we have heard that there's agreement between 9 of the provinces, not all of them, but 9 of them, for what's called direct-to-consumer alcohol sales. So it'll be legal now to be in one province and go buy a case of wine from a winery in another province, or a bottle of gin from a distiller.
That's right. Yep.
In another province, whatever it is. So that'll be illegal. But there's still much more to come, you're saying. Those other things you talked about, that's not being addressed here, but maybe this is a step that way.
This is building that framework. Hopefully this is building that framework.
Rod Phillips is the Dork Uncorked. Now, him and I talk wine on the weekends, Saturdays at 5, Sundays at noon at the Dork Uncorked Show. But in your day job, Rod, this is kind of what you deal with. You deal with the business of alcohol sales in your day job. So it's always great to get your very knowledgeable perspective on all this. So thanks for joining us here.
Anytime.
Quick break. We got the 7 o'clock news next.
CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
It's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, 7:01 on Friday, July 31st. Sunny for today and warm, and some rain for Saturday, sunny for Sunday and Monday. There's the quick little sense of the weekend ahead, the long weekend, and I'll get you the full forecast in just a moment. Right now, though, let's get to the news. Here is Lisa.
Thank you and good morning. Two major unions in the U.S. have written a letter to the U.S. President Donald Trump urging him to reconsider his tariffs that he's laid on Canada. CTV's Joe Melbourne has details.
The unions argue that Canada is the wrong target and the real rival is China, suggesting the U.S. confront their unfair trade practices.
It's been a bit confounding to us as an international union why we as the United States have been targeting really a country that's been our best friend.
They argue Trump's tariffs will only disrupt manufacturing and hurt workers on both sides of the border.
They're scared about their jobs being lost.
The calls come as Canadian officials met with American counterparts for more trade talks in Washington, D.C. this week, but we've yet to get on any updates on how those talks went, who they went with, and what the results would be. WestJet cancellations. Those cancellations for flights could start racking up today as the airline preps for a possible Sunday strike by some 4,400 flight attendants across Canada. The airline and the union representing those staff members have traded a 72-hour strike and lockout notices. That was earlier this week, but they do remain at the bargaining table trying to reach a new contract in the 11th hour. CTV's Janice Golding has the latest details.
The main stumbling block is a credit hour system. The union alleging some flight attendants are working up to 35 unpaid hours every month. They're now asking to be paid for their entire duty period and not just for flight time plus a partial ground duty payment. WestJet CEO has responded by saying our commitment remains at the bargaining table where we will continue to work around the clock to come to an agreement that provides value. WestJet customers are now looking at backup plans.
I'd have to figure out how I'm going to get back to Washington. Probably drive to Vancouver from Penticton rather than catch a plane, I guess, if it came to that.
Trains, planes, and automobiles. WestJet operates roughly 560 flights every day, carrying an average of 75,000 passengers. So this long weekend, that's going to leave a dent. Stats Canada says real gross domestic product rose 0.3% in the month of May. The number topped Stats Canada's own initial estimates for 0.1% growth in the month as the economy seemed on track for a solid rebound in the second quarter. The mining, quarrying, oil and gas extraction sector led growth for a second straight month. Some of the industry's usual spring maintenance work was either completed early or deferred. Next door in Alberta, nearly 22,000 watercraft were inspected for invasive mussel species last year. There are canines now among the teens. They sniff out, in fact, these creatures that ensure they stay out of their waterways. Cindy Sawchuk is lead for the Aquatic Invasive Species Operation and Conservative Canine Program.
The dog has been trained to detect the odor of golden mussels, zebra, and quagga mussels. And so these mussels really like to hide in, damp, dark places. A lot of them are hard to see with our eyes. So the dogs are really complementing that human inspection.
Good boy. The large populations of invasive mussels can disrupt the food chain, of course, with excessive feeding, and that leads to depleted fisheries. And high above our heads, a SpaceX rocket on a collision course with the moon.
Space tracking experts say that on Wednesday, a drifting SpaceX rocket unintentionally will slam into the moon after launching 2 lunar landers more than a year ago. Space tracking expert Bill Gray says impact could be near Einstein Crater on the moon's sunlit western limb at 7 times the speed of sound. But scientists aren't too concerned about the piece of space junk as more and more items cram into orbit. The space crash is expected to happen in the wee hours Wednesday, and eastern parts of the U.S. and Canada, as well as much of South America, are expected to get the best views. I'm Donna Warder.
And that's your news to 7:05. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question: do you think local police and fire departments should amalgamate? Just over 50% say no, but it's pretty split. You can vote at CFAX1070.com. Also on the iHeartRadio app. I'm Lisa Best, your news time, 7:07.
13 degrees right now in Victoria. Mostly sunny as we get into this Friday. I got a full long weekend weather forecast for you in just a moment. Right now, let's get to the sports. So much going on. The Victoria Shamrocks finishing off their regular season with a 6-1 win over the New Westminster Salmon Bellies. With that, they clinched first place overall in the WLA. There's no doubt about that, but it's official now. So for the Senior Shamrocks, playoffs begin on Tuesday. For the Junior A Shamrocks, playoffs are already underway, and last night it was a 15-7 win for the Shamrocks, the Junior A team, over the Coquitlam Adnacks. That series now tied up at 1 game apiece. In baseball, Victoria Harper Cats defeated the Port Angeles Lefties 5-1 at Wilson's Group Stadium at Royal Athletic Park, and with that, they complete a series sweep of the Lefties. Some big wins as we get near the end of the season for the Harper Cats. They hit the road now for the next 3 games. And in the majors, Dylan Cease gets the start tonight as the Toronto Blue Jays open up a 3-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals at Rogers Centre. And by the way, Major League Baseball's trade deadline is on Monday. It's expected that the Toronto Blue Jays will be sellers. Toronto is last to the American League East, 5.5 games out of a wild card spot with the regular season winding down. The Jays may put fan favorites like Kevin Gausman, Shane Bieber, maybe George Springer up on the trade block. Back to the local scene, Pacific FC at home tonight. It's a match against FC Supra de Quebec at Starlight Stadium, and it's a big one. It's the first time on home turf that we'll see new coach Terry Dunfield, the former Canadian national team midfielder who already took over recently. He was there behind the bench. I guess is there a bench? It's soccer. That's a hockey term. You know, whatever. He was on the field coaching for the last game against Ottawa. It was a heartbreaking 3-2 loss in injury time, but he got close. What'll happen tonight? Because this team needs a win. They don't have any. They're still winless on the season. And BC Lions in action last night in the CFL, beating the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 35-19, as heard right here on the radio on CFAX 1070. That's your sports. It's 7:09. Hey, CFAX 1070 traffic and weather. By the way, the whole morning show brought to you by Thrifty Foods. If you're heading out on a summer road trip, if you shop at Thrifty Foods and swipe your Scene Plus card, you can save 15 cents per liter at Shell stores, and you can see in-store for details. Let's take a look at the traffic situation. I'm going to start with the BC ferries. We just saw the 7 o'clock sailing full. It left with people waiting. The 8 o'clock is now full. It's a one-sail wait. The 9 o'clock is 85% full, and the whole day, every sailing, for the most part, is heavily reserved. I think the 6 o'clock sailing tonight is only 70% reserved right now. It's one of the most free ferries on the docket. Everything else is very heavily reserved, so just be careful as you head into what BC Ferries tells us is their busiest travel weekend of the year. For the weather, sunshine today with highs of 23, a little warmer with the humidity in the air. It's going to be a humidex of 26. Tonight we start clear, but there will be some showers coming sometime around midnight or just after midnight. Lows down to 14. Those showers with us tomorrow. Risk of a thunderstorm even in the afternoon. Highs of 20. Then it clears up. Then for the rest of the long weekend, Sunday is sunny with a high of 20. Monday is sunny with a high of 25. And the long-range forecast is painting a picture of the week ahead that looks like nothing but sunshine and temperatures in the mid-20s. On the markets, let's get a first look at the results on North American stock markets. In Toronto, S&P TSX Composite Index is down 97 points to 35,407. The Dow is up 27 to 52,235. The NASDAQ is up 74 to 25,196. Canadian dollar at 71.7 cents. No, I'm going to correct that. It's 71.1 cents U.S., which is down a little bit from yesterday's close.
Don't attempt your morning commute without us. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Well, here on the show, Lisa and I are very curious about science and what it can tell us about life. So let's do this.
What are the limits of human knowledge?
Welcome to the Nerd Lab.
Yes, science!
CFAX Science Stuff.
Science! Yeah!
Blinded me with science!
I don't know what that means.
With Ryan and Lisa.
Okay, so we're going to talk sleeping and how you have...
Oh no.
Too soon.
If you were sleeping, you're not anymore.
Too soon.
Wake up.
Okay, so when you get into a bed and you've just washed the sheets and everything feels clean.
That is my favorite.
Okay.
Clean sheet day?
Okay.
Oh, so good.
Right? So there's more to that. When do you shower or take a bath?
Oh, do you shower before bed or after you wake up? Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Is there science to tell me which one to do?
You think? So this is out of Harvard Medical School. The researchers, I guess, did this. They took showers or didn't. A warm shower, apparently taken 1 hour to 2 hours for bedtime, so not right before, can help cool your body, align it with your circadian rhythm, making it easier for you to fall asleep and also stay asleep. This counterintuitive effect because the warm water helps your body shed heat through your skin, triggering the cooling process needed for a restful sleep. However, a nighttime shower may offer more than just support. Dermatologists say an evening bath removes daily buildup, sweat, allergens, pollution, otherwise that can irritate your skin and dirty your sheets. So you always feel you sometimes get a better sleep when your skin is clean. It may also support overnight skin repair, particularly with those with oily skin. Now, a morning shower, if you're that kind of person, particularly a chillier one or even cold, which explains cold dips in Greater Victoria, why people go in the ocean, that may even mimic natural body temperature cycles. And of course, it definitely boosts your alertness, especially with the water temperature being cooler. So not groundbreaking science, but just a reminder that depending on what you're looking for, there's some people that shower before they go to bed, and there's some people that shower as well when they wake up in the morning. They'll shower twice.
But there's some reasons if you do shower.
Yes.
Before you go to bed. It's interesting about how it helps you regulate your body temperature, which is important for sleep. I guess that's the reason why when it's a really hot night, you don't sleep well. If it doesn't cool off at night.
That's exactly it.
Because your body wants to kind of come down in temperature a bit for sleep.
Yeah, it's better to sleep in a cooler room than it is a hot room. That's why a lot of times when you're camping, part of it is there's so much more oxygen in the wilderness. It's cleaner air, but you're also sleeping in a cooler environment and you get a more restful sleep because of that. It's better to sleep cooler and put more blankets on yourself than sleep in a hot room, especially if you're not climatized to it as well.
Interesting.
A little bit
Okay.
of science.
I love it. I've become a nighttime showerer just because I wake up too early now.
Me too, yeah.
I can't.
Me too. On the weekends, I'll switch it up.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I do find I get a much better sleep if the sheets are clean. That's special time, right? And when I've showered before I go to bed.
So, yeah, it plays out for you.
Okay, tell us what you do.
Okay.
We want to hear.
7-10-10 if you want to weigh in. We will get to that right after the news. Yeah, right now it's 7:15. What's happening in the headlines?
Let's talk about turbulence in the air. Watching closely for any update from WestJet. They're still at the bargaining table. The union representing 400 to 400 flight attendants still trying to hammer out a last-minute deal. Both sides remain at the table, but the time's ticking down for that possible strike. As of Sunday, that means the airline will bring flights down, and they'll start with international flights. That could start as soon as today. As they wind down operations in anticipation of that work stoppage, WestJet is Canada's largest airline at this point. There are more than 500 flights on any given day, carrying more than 75,000 people across the country and beyond. So this is definitely going to be maximum impact dent as we head into a very, very busy August-long weekend. Hamas has reached an agreement to disarm. The significant move could help end the war in Gaza, but is one that would face many hurdles and could take a long time to achieve if we get there at all. The group agreed to a roadmap as long as Israel makes concessions, including ending hostilities and withdrawing its troops from the Palestinian territory. Israel has not commented on the deal, which the U.S. president announced hours earlier. And speaking of Donald Trump, passports featuring his image will now be offered by the State Department at passport application events across the country. The passport shows Trump leaning over the Resolute desk above his signature on the inside cover. They were first announced in the spring, advertised as limited editions to commemorate America's 250th anniversary. The department started issuing those passports in early July as people who applied in person at the Washington, D.C. Passport Agency. But this week, the agency announced they're making an additional 250,000 available because of an overwhelming demand. That's your news to 717.
Texture at 71010 says, a warm, relaxing bath relaxes me before bed. So I guess, does a bath count as well, or does it have to be a shower?
No, it has to be that. Either way, just basically cleaning your skin before you go to bed. But a lot of people find a bath much more relaxing than a shower does. And some people take cool baths too. Some people go in the ocean. It's not necessarily a bath, but it serves its purpose. The water temperature is just as important as cleaning your skin.
Well, let us know. It's 71010. We'll keep it up. But right now we got traffic and weather in just a moment. And then we want to talk about something called Seaweed School.
This is cool.
Where researchers from UBC are working to educate the next generation of coastal scientists. Happening on Hornby Island. What is Seaweed School? We learn next. Hey, good morning. CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Coastal Heat Pumps. For a comfortable home no matter the season, big savings on your heating bill. Talk to Coastal Heat Pumps. They're designed for comfort. The South Island's Elite Plus Fujitsu Air Stage dealer. Traffic and weather. Well, on the roads, it's been a lighter than usual commute out of the West Shore into Victoria. Not seeing much of anything out there. So if you happen to be about to head out on a commute from the West Shore, you're in luck. It's looking really good. For BC Ferries, though, that's where things are jammed up. It's a one-sail wait right now. 8 o'clock is full from Swartz Bay to Swassen. 9 o'clock is a possible sailing wait. In fact, the whole day is a possible sailing wait at this point. There's just so many reservations to kick off this busy BC day-long weekend. In the weather, sunny for today, highs at 23, a little warmer feeling in the humidity. Rain coming sometime after midnight. We got periods of rain for Saturday, even a risk of a thunder shower in the afternoon. Clears up, though, for Sunday with a high of 20. Monday, sunny, high of 25. And right now, at the Victoria International Airport, the official temperature is 16 degrees.
Thanks for starting your day with us. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
What is Seaweed School happening on Hornby Island? Researchers from UBC doing this, and I got one of them on the line with us right now. Bridget Clarkston is an associate professor in UBC's Department of Botany and also the Seaweed School co-creator. Bridget, hello, how are you?
Hi, good morning, Ryan. Thank you for having me.
Great to get you here. So we were really curious. What is Seaweed School?
All right, so Seaweed School started 2 years ago as really a grassroots collaboration between members of the community school and the Natural History Center on Hornby. So as an island community, residents interact with the seashore all the time, and they've been interested in the question of how do they care for their local seaweeds in this time of climate change. So they invited me in as a seaweed expert, and together we've embarked on 2 years of guided inquiry projects with the school's grade 7, 8, 9 students. The first year was all about who are the seaweeds of Hornby Island, and the second year focused on seaweeds as nourishment for the soil in our gardens.
Now, this is with the school kids, or are people doing it over the summer as well?
Yes, so there are many facets to this seaweed school. We've done 2 years of projects with the school itself, the grade 7, 8, 9 class. But we've also been offering, the Natural History Center has been offering for the public events, workshops, art projects, etc. And one of the big projects running right now, the school year is obviously wrapped up, but we have a monthly seaweed monitoring project running where members of the public are invited to come down to the same beach every month, and they record which seaweeds are present. And in this way, we're documenting over the year, how does the composition and abundance of the seaweed community change over time on Hornby Island?
I think that kind of thing is a lot of fun, where you can kind of feel like you're participating in some science. You can go and make some observations and hand them in, and they mean something.
Absolutely. So this is community-driven science, because this is a question the community is interested in asking, as opposed to I and a professor coming, into a community with my questions. This is a question they had, and they came to me to support answering it. And then members of the public get to come down and actually collect real data that is being used for a real science project.
Bridget, I like this because the demographic you're working with, you're trying to create more environmental scientists moving forward.
Absolutely. We are so excited because people in coastal communities, they really pay attention. They know their environment. They are interested in the nature all around them. They see lots of changes happening in their coastal communities. And so they want to participate. They want to engage. They want to learn more. And we are committed to not only training, hopefully, members of the next generation of ocean scientists, but more empowered general public who better understand their ocean communities.
And something to understand, and I've been seeing this news over the last little while, and I'm assuming this is part of why you're doing this, is we are seeing some declines in the seaweed. I mean, seaweed seems like something you shouldn't have to think about. It's just there. Why would I care about it? But like for instance, our kelp forests off the coast of Vancouver Island have been declining. At least I think that's some of the science that's coming out more recently, showing that we are seeing a decline here. What's happening with our seaweed, and why is it important?
Yes, this is a great topic. So seaweeds are really the plants of the sea. They photosynthesize just like plants. They make their own food, and therefore they're bringing energy into coastal marine ecosystems, and that sustains all kinds of marine life that we care a lot about, like young salmon and rockfish. And in many parts of BC, we've lost or are losing our kelp forests. Kelps are a subset of brown seaweeds and include some of the largest seaweeds in the world. You've probably heard of bull kelp or giant kelp. These are the largest kelps in the world, 10 to 30 meters in height. And we have both in BC, so we're really lucky there. But unfortunately, they thrive in colder waters, which we generally have. But in parts where the waters are getting really warm in the summer, like the inner Salish Sea, like around Hornby Island, we've lost almost completely our natural kelp forests over the last few decades.
Okay,
what happens if we lose, when we hit that tipping point? What happens?
Well, imagine cutting down the forest. The kelps they are essentially the western red cedars and the Douglas firs. They're the tallest trees in that underwater forest. And when you lose those, you lose all kinds of habitat that lots of marine species rely on for food and for habitat, coastal stabilization. All kinds of ecosystem services, they're called, are being done by these kelps and then other seaweeds as well. And so there's a lot of attention being paid right now to understanding this loss, but also to help reduce it and replace those kelp forests. So there's a lot of restoration work happening right now.
So bringing awareness to the plight of our seaweed is one of the things. And then you also mentioned right off the top that something else you're exploring with Seaweed School at Hornby Island is, did you mention compost and that aspect of it?
My goodness, yes. So as a child growing up on Vancouver Island, I remember my mom bringing seaweed up from the beach and using it as mulch in our garden.
Yeah.
And that's a practice that's done on a lot of coastal communities, including Hornby Island. And so the kids were interested in exploring, what is it exactly that seaweeds are doing to our soils when we bring them up and use them as mulch, or even like distill it down into a liquid fertilizer and pour it on our gardens. So we did a dirty underwear test, which is a really fun. Yeah, it is what it sounds. You actually bury clean white cotton underwear in soil, and then you come back a few weeks later and dig it back up. And the amount of rot, of how much degradation has happened, is a proxy for the activity of the microbes in the soil. So the more rotten your underwear, the more active your soil community is.
I love this. So what did you find?
We did find that when we added seaweed fertilizer to our soils in the community garden, the underwear broke down faster. And in fact, it broke down fastest when we used our seaweed tea. So seaweed that had been stored in a bucket and mixed with water and rotted down, and then used the liquid as a fertilizer on our soil.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that is the peak fertilizer out of seaweed if you could get the liquid version. And those are just some of the experiments they're doing at Seaweed School on Hornby Island. So that's a quick sense of what this is all about. What's ahead of you? Tell us what's in store next for Seaweed School.
Gosh, we are working on documenting all that we've done for the last couple of years. We'll be monitoring our seaweeds every month for the rest of this year. And we're looking ahead to other opportunities to get the community involved, because we know it's really important. Kids are our future leaders and environmental guardians. We need to get them hooked early on protecting these key species and learning how seaweeds nourish us and our ecosystem.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a great job. I mean, if you've got an underwear test, I know my kids would be into it. So you're already doing a great job. Bridget Clarkston is an associate professor in UBC's Department of Botany and also the co-creator of Seaweed School. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you so much.
I'm just fascinated by the underwear test. I love this.
That sold me. I want to be part of that. And so do your kids. Every boy out there wins. I can help you out with that. I can do that.
I can just visualize that too. Bury a clean pair of white underwear in the ground, put different fertilizers on the different pairs, and see which one breaks down and gets the dirtiest.
Do the underwear trick. The underwear challenge, we'll call it.
Love it. We'll take a break. 7:30 news coming up next.
This summer, 3 of Vancouver Island's biggest voices are coming together to make a real difference.
Get your tickets now for the Kids Count Mega Summer 50-50.
Brought to you by 107.3 Virgin Radio, CFAX 1070, and CTV.
In support of CFAX Santa's Anonymous all-new Kids Count program, supporting children beyond Christmas.
The Mega Summer 50-50.
Your chance to win big while giving back.
Buy your tickets today at CFAX1070.com.
Gaming event license 174660. CFAX Victoria,
an iHeartRadio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, 7:31 on Friday, July 31st. 16 degrees already. It's going to be a warm, sunny day today before the rain arrives overnight. Full forecast in a moment. Right now, though, the news begins, and here is Lisa Best.
Thank you and good morning. Some Vancouver Island projects receiving millions in infrastructure funding, including a first in Canada wastewater innovation project happening in the CRD. Metchosin Mayor Marie-Therese Little said it also includes $7 million to build a new fire hall in her community.
For us to have a robust, resilient, collaborative firefighting team and building, we need to move forward on this project. It is of vital importance, not only for Metchosin, but because we are such good regional partners and we have mutual aid agreements around the region, this is important for the region.
The CRD will receive $7 million to develop a facility that converts biosolids from wastewater treatment into carbon-rich material for potential uses in agriculture, construction, and other areas. We'll hear more about this at 8:20. CRD Board Chair and City Mayor Cliff McNeil-Smith will be live on the CFAX Morning Show. Prime Minister Mark Carney has backed a plan to expand a major port facility in Metro Vancouver, saying the current capacity will not be enough to meet Ottawa's goals of growing and diversifying our economy over the next 10 years. Carney outlined his support for the Robert Bank Terminal 2 expansion as he toured part of the existing facility located in the Port and Delta.
The federal government is looking to invest about $10 billion, more than $10 billion, to help expand the port, grow our exports away from the United States by more than 50%, create over 17,000 jobs, 18,000 jobs in the construction of that, another 17,000 jobs full-time in the operation of that additional capacity.
Transport Minister Steve McKinnon announced earlier this month that Ottawa was referring the expansion plan to Canada's Major Projects Office for possible fast-tracking. A Boston bar resident says people defying a wildfire evacuation order are being cast as villains because of having useful experience and expertise and willingness to help fight fires. Attila Bangi says a few dozen people stayed behind in the community to better protect their homes from the nearby Brunswick complex of fire. The BC Wildfire Services crews found a man while fighting a fire near Clinton who refused to leave, who later had to be rescued. The service says the resident's property was surrounded by flames after they chose to defy an evacuation order across the province. There are currently 127 wildfires actively burning, 49 considered out of control, 9 new starts. In the last 24 hours, there's 3 fires on Vancouver Island, but nothing new. The 3 are either being held or considered under control. The Liberal government plans to eliminate the financial contribution required to imposed on streaming services by the CRTC. It's indicated in a court document that it plans to replace this requirement with public funding. Earlier in June, the government had stated it would instead provide $600 million annually for the sector. Bloc Québécois MP Alex Bernal-Duceppe says the decision is Ottawa caving to U.S. demands.
The $600 million come from the pocket of all the citizens and all the taxpayer here in Canada and in Quebec. The money is in the pocket of the big company, the multinational company. Again, Mark Carney did a mistake again because he's afraid of Donald Trump and he doesn't get anything in return.
The Prime Minister maintains the decision was not made with a view of negotiating with Americans, but rather to lower the cost for Canadians. And life-threatening heat settling over large parts of the southwest U.S. Heat alerts up for some 70 million people, and extreme heat warnings in place throughout the desert southwest, including Los Angeles, Phoenix, Tucson. Vegas is expected to be 44 Celsius today, 45 tomorrow. But the high heat also extending north, even into Montana.
All-time August heat, possible in Vegas, also possible in Billings. Guys, August is just starting tomorrow, so this would be the warmest they'd ever seen in August.
Forecasters now saying there's a 90% chance of that rare, powerful Super El Nino developing this summer, bringing drought to some areas, heavy flooding, and record high temperatures to others. That's your news to 7:36. CFAX 1070 news poll question this morning. We're asking, do you think local police and fire departments should amalgamate? Just over 50% say no, but a lot of split numbers on our voting. You can vote at CFAX1070.com, the iHeartRadio app, and Twitter X as well. I'm Lisa Best, your news time, 7:37.
Thank you, Lisa. It's already 16 degrees, heading towards a muggy day with a high of 23. We'll get you a full forecast in a moment. Right now, over to the sports, and there's just so much going on. Tonight, big night for Pacific FC, local soccer team. They're at Starlight Stadium at home against FC Supra de Quebec. It's going to be our first time at home to see brand new coach Terry Dunfield, the former Canadian national team midfielder who took over recently. He was there when they played Ottawa last weekend on the road. They got so close. It was in stoppage time and they lost 3-2. Can he pull it around tonight? Because they need this win. They need a win. They've got no wins this season. 0-3-10 is the record. So we'll see what happens tonight. Big game for Pacific FC at home. Victoria Shamrocks finished off the regular season with a 6-1 win over the New Westminster Salmon Bellies, clinching first place overall in the WLA last night. Playoffs begin for the senior Shamrocks on Tuesday, but the junior A Shamrocks already into their playoffs. Last night had a 15-7 win over the Coquitlam Adnacs. That series is now tied at 1 game apiece. For the Victoria Harbour Cats, they had a win over the Port Angeles Lefties 5-1 at Royal Athletic Park, Wilson's Group Stadium yesterday. With that, they complete a series sweep of the Lefties. They hit the road now for the next 3 games. For the majors, it is Dylan Cease getting the start tonight as the Toronto Blue Jays open up a 3-game set against the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, Major League Baseball's trade deadline is also Monday. It's expected Toronto will be sellers. Blue Jays last in the American League East, 5.5 games out of a wild card spot. With the regular season winding down, the Jays may put some fan favorites up for sale. So we'll see what happens there as we get into that weekend. And just real quick, we had, of course, the BC Lions right here on the radio yesterday. Running back Xander Horvath scored 3 touchdowns last night as the BC Lions beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 35-19. And that's your sports to 7:39. CFAX Morning Show brought to you by Bluebird Cabs. Download the new Bluebird Cabs app at Bluebird Cabs Ltd. They're proudly local and Canadian-owned and run since 1946. On the roads, fairly easy commute still. The whole morning, the West Shore commute into Victoria has been non-existent, just smooth sailing across the board. If you see otherwise, text me at 71010. But if you are commuting today, it's looking really good coming in from the West Shore. All of our other major routes are looking fine. Malahat's clear, Pat Bay's clear. BC Ferry's very busy, though. As we head into what BC Ferries tells us is their busiest weekend of the year, we got the 8 o'clock sailing full from Swartz Bay to Sawasan. The 9 o'clock sailing, a possible sailing weight at about 90% full right now. Over to the weather. Here's your long weekend weather forecast. Sunny for today as we kick things off. Could be a bit breezy off the Juan de Fuca Strait. Highs of 23, but a humidex of 26. So feeling a little warmer in the humidity if you're away from those coastal breezes. Clear skies tonight to start. But just to start, because once we get past midnight, that's where the showers will start. We'll see a few showers, maybe even a risk of a thunderstorm by Saturday afternoon before it starts to clear. Highs will hit about 20 degrees in the showers tomorrow in those clouds. Clears up, though, for the rest of the long weekend. Sunday is sunny, a high of 20. Monday is sunny, a high of 25. And right now it's 16 degrees. On the markets, S&P TSX in Toronto now down a little bit. In fact, there's losses across the board. Down in Toronto, 272 to 35,233. The Dow in New York is down 118 to 52,089. NASDAQ is down 19 to 25,102. Canadian dollar at 71.2 cents U.S., which is also down just a bit from the close yesterday.
in the kitchen, in the car, and at the office. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070. Take us with you. Listen live on the free iHeartRadio app.
Have you checked out the Kids Count Mega Summer 50/50 from CFAX Santa's Anonymous? It's our 50/50 raffle we're doing on the radio. And if you haven't bought your ticket yet, let me tell you, it's at $11,400 now. We started the week just crossing the 10,000 mark.
Yeah, we're moving.
But now, here's how it would break down. If we were to do the draw today, which we're not because it's going until the end of August,
correct.
The charity would take home $5,700. That's CFAX Santa's Anonymous. And you, the winner, would take home $5,700. How's that for a prize?
That's good. Get in early and just watch the pot grow.
Yeah, but don't wait because it will sell out. We only have a finite number.
Yeah, there's that too.
Of 50/50 tickets to sell. So you don't want to necessarily sit on this.
No.
But you got some time because the draw will be Friday, August 28th, and the final ticket sales will be a cutoff Thursday, August 27th at 5 p.m. So that'll be the last of the ticket sales. And then the morning, right here on the radio, we'll do the draw and find out who's going to walk home with who knows how much money. We'll see how big it gets by then.
Yeah, right now you're looking at $5,500 at least.
Pretty big.
And, there's a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction when you watch this number grow, knowing that half it's going in your pocket, great, found cash for you, but also half it's going to local kids and families to keep them fed throughout the year.
Yeah.
And a lot of the money that Santa's Anonymous raises now does go to food and dealing with food insecurity. So it's kind of low-hanging fruit. We're not talking just toys and things like that. We're talking about if a family has a fire, Christine and crew will go and contact the family and reach out to officials to find out if they need help. So this money stays in our community to help local families in need. So if you can help out with this, it's the first time we've done it. So it's kind of a test to see where we can get with it. But as Ryan said, there's only a select amount of tickets available, so you do want to get in early.
It's the Kids Count Mega Summer 50/50 for CFAX Santa's Anonymous. Check it out. You know what else we're doing is the meat draw.
Yes.
Ryan and Lisa's meat draw for Glenwood Meats. This is how it's going to work. I'm going to tell you again. Sometime just after the 8 o'clock news, we will draw a number between 1 and 100. At that point onwards, that's when you'll want to text us your guess at what the number is. The first person to get it right, or at least, as close as we can get, we'll get a call from me. And we will give you the $100 to Glenwood Meats. You will have won the meat draw.
That's exciting. But you know what? We're getting numbers, and it's too soon.
Yeah, don't send them soon.
Don't waste your number.
Yeah.
Hold it.
I'll only start looking after we've drawn what the number is. I don't even know what it is yet, so we can't.
Right, even Ryan doesn't know.
Yeah, because I gotta
it's all secret.
Draw the little ball out of the ball machine.
Doesn't it show up in a briefcase with some men wearing sunglasses?
Exactly. It's there's a handcuff, a guy handcuffed to the case.
It's pretty serious.
That, yeah.
I don't look at them. I just give them side eye.
Ooh, they're frightening. It's 7:45. Time for the headlines. Here's Lisa.
WestJet says its flight attendants are continuing contract talks as the clock ticks closer to a possible strike this weekend. During one of the busiest summer travel season weekends, a passenger traveling from Toronto Pearson Airport says she had to book last-minute replacement flight due to the disruption, making her trip a lot more expensive. Despite the cost, though, she says she does support the flight attendants in their battle. If deals not reached by Sunday morning, either side could begin the work stoppage or the walkout. That would see hundreds of flights canceled during the long weekend across much of the country, and international flights being affected as well. 4,400 flight attendants are involved in this strike if it happens. Stats Canada reports the economy is growing steadily in the month of May. It appeared to be on track for a solid rebound in the second quarter as a whole. The agency reports real domestic products rose 0.3% in the month of May. Offices of real estate agents and brokers saw an increase of over 5% in the month of May. That's doing well. And the subsector's biggest monthly jump since October of 2024. Stats says that the spring housing market was warming up in May, following an extended cold snap, particularly here in BC and over in Ontario. And Alberta hired some strong noses to fight invasive mussels. 2 black labs and a black lab cross will work with humans scanning boats entering the province to ensure mussels don't make it in. The humans use their hands and eyes, but Hilo, Jane, and Winnie, as they're called, use their keen noses. Mussels can hide in damp, dark places and can be small, not easily seen on a boat. They hog food from other creatures in the water in large numbers, leads to fewer fish and smaller fish in lakes as a whole. That's your news to 747.
So there's been a little minor mystery going on behind the scenes here today that I haven't talked about because I couldn't figure it out, but we had a few text messages earlier this morning saying, why is my power out?
Right.
And this was kind of in the Esquimalt area. And
Yes.
I couldn't figure it out. There was no notice at BC Hydro's
Was
website.
that West Bay, yeah?
Yeah, West Bay Marina area. Well, we've just finally got the answer. Texter at 71010 says, can I give a shout out to BC Hydro? A squirrel got a little too curious,
dear.
and Hydro had the power back up in about 90 minutes.
Okay.
This is in the West Bay area. And now it's up on the BC Hydro website. I guess about 100 customers were without power after what they called an equipment contact. What our listeners letting us know was a squirrel getting a little too close to some equipment. But it looks like the power's back. So
Hey, it wasn't a seagull.
Lisa hit a seagull.
No.
Or the seagull hit Lisa.
Thank you.
On the way into work today
Correct.
on Wharf Street. You were driving.
Right
and
in my windshield.
You
I'm waiting for the squirrel now. You know, these animals that zigged when they should have zagged?
Yeah.
So we got one squirrel down, a seagull injured.
Oh, it's not a good day for the
We're waiting to
wildlife
hear
of
from the deer camp.
Victoria. Yeah, anybody hit a deer today? Hope not. Okay, so let's do BC politics next because Rob Buffum from CTV Vancouver Island is our guy on the beat. It's been an interesting week for news out of the BC Conservative camp as new leader Carrie Lynn Findlay starts to sort of shape the party, and we've seen a lot of staffers let go, including, I guess, one of the big guys behind the scenes who has been let go, executive director. Angelo Isidoro is his name. He's the latest to be kicked out in the shakeout. So we're going to take a look at what the latest out of BC politics means for the BC Conservatives with Rob Buffum next.
From CFAX 1070.
Here's what's happening around the island. Celebrate our coast at Cadboro Bay Festival, Sunday, August 9th from 11 to 3 p.m. Victoria Symphony presents Symphony in the Summer Festival, July 10th through August 9th. Details at victoriasymphony.ca. Have an event you want featured on CFAX 1070? Text us at 71010 to be featured.
Get more event info at CFAX1070.com.
If it's happening, it's here.
CFAX 1070.
CFAX 870 traffic and weather. Busy day at BC Ferries. We've got a one sail wait. The 8 o'clock is full. The 9 from Swartz Bay to Swassen almost full. The roads, however, are looking pretty clear. The West Shore commute is looking very clear. Not much to speak of there. And in the weather forecast, it is sunny. It's going to be warm today. Humidex at 26, but otherwise a high of 23. Could be a bit breezy off the Juan de Fuca Strait, making it be a little cooler if you're there. So usual Victoria situation. Tale of multiple temperatures. A bit of rain coming sometime overnight, lasting through our Saturday. Even a risk of a thunderstorm on Saturday afternoon, but clear again for Sunday and holiday Monday.
Ryan and Lisa. Mornings on CFAX 1070. Remember, you have us in the palm of your hand. For listeners on the go, listen live on the free iHeartRadio app.
Well, BC politics interesting this week. The BC Conservative shakeup continues. The latest here is the executive director of the party is moving on. Angela Isidoro, largely credited with kind of building up the party after the 2020 or into the 2024 elections. So he's been there since those days. He's now out, and it's just one of many shakeups that we've been hearing about. So here to kind of digest it all, Rob Buffum, legislative reporter with CTV Vancouver, is on the line. Rob, great to talk to you. How you doing?
Good morning, Ryan. Yeah, I'm doing well.
Yeah, so I guess we'll start with this latest move. What do we know about the executive director of the BC Conservatives moving on?
Well, that was news that kind of broke on Wednesday night. With the revelation that he was out as the executive director. And as you say, many people have credited him as being a major reason why the party went from a very much a grassroots movement, so to speak, to within a hair's breadth of forming government. And there was a release sent out by Angelo as well as Carrie Lynn Finlay that seemed to be quite diplomatic. I will say when I spoke to him yesterday, he said he felt bittersweet about departing from the party. There was sort of a flood, you may have seen, of comments online from different MLAs saying how instrumental he'd been to the party. A lot of people expressing that it was a big loss to the party. And this was one of several high-profile staff or, folks associated with the party who have moved on since Carrie Lynn Finlay became the leader at the end of May.
Yeah, and that's just been an ongoing story for the last week or two, it seems like, just hearing about all these different staffers behind the scenes who are getting let go. So what's happening here? Is this the new leader, Carrie Lynn Finlay, sort of getting rid of people who aren't loyal to her, or what's happening here?
Well, it's hard to know because, I think it is natural for a new leader to want to put his or her stamp on the party and bring in the people that they connect most with and, as I say, put a stamp on the party. The question may be whether or not it's the right stamp under these circumstances. I will say that I've spoken to 6 BC Conservative MLAs off the record who have expressed concerns about the direction the party is going in under Carrie Lynn's leadership. Now, various reasons, but so we'll have to see. I think people in the party who I've spoken to say they're very optimistic about the polling. The latest polling out last week from Angus Reid showed David Eby's approval rating was just 27%, a drop from the spring. And there's lots of issues the opposition can hammer on. But at the same time, this past week, there's been a few issues that have caught people's attention, including the executive director, who is very well regarded, splitting with the party in what was described as amicable, but at the same time, a bittersweet split. So I guess we'll have to wait and see how things shake out in the coming weeks. It will be interesting to see what happens when they get back in the fall, because Carrie Lynn Finlay, as you know, doesn't have a seat. I've spoken to Ian Payton in South Delta as well as Rosalind Bird in Prince George, who both confirmed that they were asked to give up their seats, but declined. There was reporting that Lynn Block in West Van also was asked to give up her seat and has not done so. So for the time being, the leader of the party is trying to find somewhere she can run, but does not have an opportunity to do that at this point.
Okay. And back to the shakeup. What can we glean in by the people who have left and the people who are being brought in? Again, this is all behind the scenes, so it's kind of hard to say exactly. But I've been reading a lot that this is, definitely the further right wing of the party kind of cementing itself and maybe leaving some of the people who are more aligned with the, former BC Liberals / BC United, that wing of the party maybe be feeling a little left out. I don't know. That's what I'm reading. Is there any truth to that that's kind of what's happening behind the scenes?
Well, what we do know is that Carrie Lynn Finlay had been pretty clear when she ran for leader that she was going to work to move the party back to, true conservative values. It's something that has been referred to as a purity test, and there's been, I think, a feeling that those people who were associated with the BC Liberals may have been too far left of center. For the time being, there's been this united front that's been presented. I will say there was an internal memo that got made public or leaked at the beginning of the week that showed different talking points, including one that talked about basically the importance of presenting a unified front, as well as referred to Christy Clark, former BC Liberal Premier, as being a proxy for the NDP. Yeah. This came on the heels of a interview she had done with CP, where she basically said under Carrie Lynn Finlay's leadership, she did not think that the Conservatives would get elected in the next election as the government.
Yeah, I do feel like accusing Christy Clark of being a secret NDP operative is a little far-fetched to me, but I don't know.
Well, I think that's right. I mean, she's someone who famously has spent most of her political career trying to beat the NDP.
Yeah. But I guess there's just another sign of a bit of cracks in the background there within the party, or at least people associated with the party, as it's been an interesting ride for BC politics and for the BC Conservative Party. Those are some of the moves over the week as we catch up on BC politics with Rob Buffum, legislative reporter with CTV Vancouver, and do check out his work on CTV Vancouver. Rob, I'll let you go, but thank you so much, as always, for helping unpack the politics.
You're welcome, Ryan, and happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I just got back from a big trip in Europe where we celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary. You're saying you saw my pictures.
I did, and the videos were great. Your trip to Chamonix.
Yeah.
Highly recommend people check those out if they can.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I posted them to my Instagram page if anybody follows me there. Okay, thanks, Rob.
You're welcome. Cheers.
Oh, good times. Good guy, Rob Buffum. Thank you for the kind words. We'll take a break. We got the 8 o'clock news coming up, and shortly we will draw a number for the meat draw. It's the CFAX 1070 meat draw for Glenwood Meats. Text us your guess at a number between 1 and 100. Once I draw the number, wait for it at 71010. And if you get it right, I'll call you pretty soon. Stand by.
CFAX Victoria,
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on Friday, July 31st, here on the eve of the BC Day-long weekend. Right now, it's sunny. We've got temperatures of 16 degrees and a full forecast coming your way. Right now, the news begins. Here is Lisa Best.
All eyes on the possible turbulence in the skies this coming weekend. A very, very busy travel weekend and the worst for a possible lockout or strike. WestJet and Flight Attendants Union continuing to try to hammer down some talks and a contract as the clock ticks closer to a possible strike on Sunday. If the deal's not reached by Sunday morning, either side could either begin a work stoppage or a walkout. 4,400 flight attendants could be not flying this weekend. And if you're holding a WestJet ticket, that could be you as well. This WestJet customer, Kaylee Adams, flying out of Toronto's Pearson Airport this morning, was hoping her return flight wouldn't get canceled.
We're going to Mexico, so we just checked in, no problem, no lineup. We're very early for our flight, which leaves at 1, and we're supposed to come back next Saturday. If we don't make it, then my work will be hearing from me on Monday morning. Otherwise, hopefully the strike, hopefully it doesn't happen, but If it does, then we'll just play her by ear.
Yeah, so much uncertainty, though. Ahead of the potential strike, WestJet has been allowing passengers traveling between July 30th and August 4th to make that one-time change with no cancellation fees attached to it. Ticket holders given notice of cancellation due to the strike are eligible for refunds. But this could affect your insurance if you're holding insurance because it's a known event that could happen. So you best check ahead rather than being disappointed and having to pay for the flight yourself and not be insured for it. Two major unions in the U.S. have written a letter to Donald Trump urging him to reconsider the tariffs he's laden on Canada. CTV's Joey Melbourne has details.
The unions argue that Canada is the wrong target and the real rival is China, suggesting the U.S. confront their unfair trade practices.
It's been a bit confounding to us as an international union why we as the United States have been targeting really a country that's been our best friend.
They argue Trump's tariffs will only disrupt manufacturing and hurt workers on both sides of the border.
They're scared about their jobs being lost.
The call comes as Canadian officials met with U.S. counterparts for more trade talks in Washington this week, but we've yet to have any updates on how the talks went or who they were talking with. Vancouver Island projects receiving millions in infrastructure funding to beef up our security and safety. That includes a first-in-Canada wastewater innovation project in the CRD and upgrades to fire halls in Metchosin and Up Island and Comox. The CRD will receive $7 million to develop a facility that converts biosolids from wastewater treatment into carbon-rich material with potential uses in agriculture and construction. CRD Chair and Sydney Mayor Cliff McNeil-Smith explains.
The residual solids from the wastewater treatment process at the plant are conveyed to our residuals treatment facility located at CRD's Heartland landfill, where they are then processed into Class A biosolids. The CRD has been pursuing sustainable and cost-effective opportunities to maximize the value of these biosolids for community benefit.
Comox receiving $5 million to upgrade its fire station, which has been in place for about 50 years, so it's time. $7 million to support a new fire hall in Metchosin. We'll hear more from City Mayor and CRD Board Chair Cliff McNeil-Smith. He'll be live on CFAX a few minutes from now at 8:20. Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada must increase its port capacity to meet Ottawa's goals of growing and diversifying the economy over the next 10 years, trading more with Asian countries and moving exports away from America.
When you look at the capacity of Port of Vancouver, it's bigger than the capacity of the next 5 biggest ports in Canada combined. But within the next decade, it's not going to be enough. And it's certainly not going to be enough if we're going to grow this economy, become stronger, more independent, more diversified.
Ottawa has referred the Port of Vancouver's Robert Banks Terminal 2 expansion project to Canada's Major Projects Office for some possible fast-tracking, with Carney outlining his support for the proposal during a tour this week at the existing facility in Delta. And a huge piece of American space junk is about to slam into the moon next week. It's going to happen on Wednesday. Apparently, best viewing for this would be in North America, including here in BC. And that is your news to 8:05. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question this morning. Do you think local police and fire departments should amalgamate? Just over 50% say no, but it's pretty split. You can vote at CFAX1070.com, also the iHeart radio station. I'm Lisa Best. Your news time is 8:06.
Lisa.
Yes.
You know what time it is?
So I hope it's time.
It's time.
Because I keep telling everybody it's too soon.
I know. Everybody's still texting numbers. I haven't even drawn the number yet, so hang on. Okay. Just chill out for a second.
Okay.
I got to draw. I'm drawing the
You're
number.
officially chilling.
Okay.
Now?
Here it comes.
How about now?
I've got it.
Okay. Give us your number.
I like how I'm kind of faking as if I'm drawing a ball out of a number,
No,
but
we
yet we're
really
on
believed
TV.
you, Ryan.
But we're on TV, so people on the radio can imagine I'm doing this.
Do
but
not burst the bubble.
if you're watching us on CTV Vancouver Island or on Crave, because you can watch us on Crave TV if you got that
Correct.
subscription, you can just watch the whole thing live.
Crave
or
and
on
Crave.
YouTube. You can watch us live on YouTube.
Oh my gosh, we're everywhere.
You get that I'm
Ubiquitous, as it
lying.
were.
So, anyways, I got the number. Regardless, the random number generator has
Okay.
given me a number
What is
between
it?
1 and 100. I'm not telling
Oh, I'm
you. You
trying
got to
to trick
text
you into
us. Text us your guess. It's the Glenwood Meets Meat Draw. The first guy or girl or whatever to get it right.
Person.
The first person to get it right.
Because we can't give it. Oh my Lord. Look at them come in. Okay, someone's going to. How do you keep up with this?
I know, it's intimidating.
Wow.
It's intimidating. Oh,
You guys
no.
are fast.
Oh, no, there's too many. Oh, no. I got to read the sports.
Okay, we'll do that first.
And I got to find a way through the thousands of messages that just started to arrive.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. That's a lot of text messages. Okay,
You guys
hang
are
on.
impressive.
All right, yeah. I need to focus.
Okay.
What am I doing? I'm doing the sports.
Do some sports first.
Doing the sports.
Let's talk baseball.
Hey, lots of Shamrocks lacrosse.
Oh, that
both
too.
the senior and the junior A. So the senior Victoria Shamrocks team just finished the regular season. 6-1 win with the new Westminster Salmon Bellies. It's been a remarkable season for the Shamrocks, and they closed out kind of indicative of the way the whole season's been going with another win. Their playoffs begin on Tuesday. Now, the Junior A Shamrocks already into their playoffs, and last night they were at the Q Center and they played against the Coquitlam Madnax for Game 2 of this best of 7. It was a 15-7 win for Victoria, and so the Junior A Shamrocks now tied in their series with the Adnax at 1 game apiece. Victoria Harbour Cats with a win last night. They defeated the Port Angeles Lefties 5-1 at Wilson's Group Stadium, Royal Athletic Park. With that, they complete a sweep of the Lefties, and they're on the road now. They got 3 games on the road ahead of them. For Pacific FC, home game tonight. First chance at home to see new coach Terry Dunfield. They're playing against FC Supra de Quebec. And the record so far this season, it's the toughest season in franchise history. They're at 0-3-10 so far. No wins yet still. Could this be the night? It's tonight, Starlight Stadium. And CFL football right here on CFAX 1070 last night. Running back Xander Horvath scored 3 touchdowns as the BC Lions beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 35-19. And by the way, with Horvath's performance, it helped rookie BC quarterback Caden Salter get his first ever win in his first ever start with the CFL. That is your CFAX 1070 Sports. It's 8:09. By the way, the morning show brought to you by Thrifty Foods. Heading out on a summer road trip, shop at Thrifty Foods and swipe your Scene Plus card to save up to 15 cents per liter at Shell. See in store for details. Okay, the numbers keep coming in. The CFAX meat draw is on. We'll pick a number. Well, we've already picked the number. We will call the correct guess in just a moment. All right, CFAX 1070 traffic and weather. I'm sorting through text messages. The meat draw, it's intense, I tell you.
It's very intense.
It's intense. Okay, I'm looking.
Okay.
So I keep looking while I talk about traffic and weather. Hey, did you
Sending
know?
numbers.
Did you know the single lane alternating traffic is still going on at Burnside and Washington? So watch for that. It's going to be a thing not just today, but for next week as well. They're doing some concrete pouring there and getting some work done. So it's going to be causing delays for the day. Look out. The rest of the West Shore commute, though, or I should say the West Shore commute, is looking way better than usual. Maybe people are already off for the long weekend. Not as many people commuting today, so that's looking pretty good. Busy at BC Ferries, though. There is a sailing wait coming up. Actually, wait, I should double check that. So I'm looking at text messages. Not no, there's no sailing weight right now, but it's close. It's
okay.
It's at about 91% full. It'll probably be busy through the rest of the day, so watch out for that if you're heading to the mainland from Swartz Bay to Tsawwassen. Here's what's going on in the weather forecast. We have mostly sunny day today. Highs of 23, but a bit of humidity in the air, which is going to make it feel like 26. So that's the humidex today. It's 26 degrees. And a little cooler by the water, though, with some wind blowing off the Juan de Fuca Strait. Then tonight, the rain comes in, but not until around after midnight. So we'll get a dry evening if you're out and about for the evening, or maybe you're going to go see that Pacific FC game in Langford. It should stay dry through that, with the rain coming in later. And then periods of rain through the day tomorrow. Even this risk of a thunder shower, which is coming in tomorrow afternoon. It doesn't last long, and then after that we get into a sunny Sunday, temperatures up to 20 degrees, and for our Monday, the BC Day Monday, it's going to get even warmer, sunny and a high of 25. The temperatures will stay about there for the rest of the week, by the way. It's going to be about sunny and high of 25 through the week. So many meat draw messages. So many.
It's actually quite intimidating.
I think, though, I just finished looking through them. I think we're still looking for it.
Okay. Well, that's first.
I don't think we've had it yet.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah,
we don't have the number yet.
Don't have the number yet.
Well, it's possible we don't have it.
It's not too late. You can text us at 71010.
Keep texting your number.
Maybe it'll come in. Now, if I don't have the correct answer in the next few moments here, I'm going to pick the closest to the correct
well, let's
answer.
hope someone gets the right number in.
Yeah.
Because it would be, closest to is close, but it's no cigar.
Somebody's got to win.
Or you would think.
Yeah.
What is it, by the way? Oh, wait. You can't tell me that again.
Lisa keeps trying to trip me. It's going to work one day, you know. You're going to totally trip me up eventually. Okay. I got to focus. What am I doing?
That's okay.
S&P TSX is down 111 points in our market watch, down to 35,394. The Dow is...
Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070. Oversleepers, catch all the highlights on the latest audio podcast at CFAX1070.com and on the free iHeartRadio app.
I think the message here is I can't do a meat draw and run a radio station at the same time.
I was just thinking that. It's like, look, I can handle weather for you. I can stick handle.
Let me just quickly tell you, the Canadian dollar, 71.3 cents U.S. There you go.
It's holding its own as we, go into a weekend where you might be going stateside. Okay. So numbers, no numbers?
Well, I'm just sorry. I got to catch back up. I'm looking through real quick. All right, everybody. You should play that. You should play that fun song we had yesterday.
I can play. How about this one?
Get a new one. That's perfect.
La, 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 la. Building the suspense. Live radio and TV.
I've got it. It happened.
It did?
Yeah.
We
first
can thank
one to get it right.
Alex Trebek.
That was what did it. First one to get it right here. That was the most intense one yet.
Yeah. Well, because I do believe we had well over 1,000 entries within minutes.
That was something.
Good on you. Wow. We've got our dialing fingers and our numbers. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go.
Hello?
Hi. Who have we got along there? Who have I got on the phone here?
It's all too much.
It's Sylvia.
Sylvia, were you just participating in the meat draw?
Yes, I was.
Well, you've won the meat draw. You have $100 to Glenwood Meats. How does that sound?
That's awesome.
Sylvia,
oh my goodness.
I have to ask you, what number did you send in?
Yeah.
5.
That was it.
Really?
Yep.
It was 5.
So with a number 5, Sylvia wins the meat draw, $100 to Glenwood Meats. You find them in Langford. Now, what are you going to get? Do you have any particular item in mind?
Oh, I do not. My daughter likes shopping there, though, and 5 is her favorite number.
Oh, is that why you picked it?
Aww.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
That's wonderful.
I'm sure we'll find some yummy meat out there.
No doubt. Have you been there before?
Yes, I've been a couple times.
Okay.
Not much, though.
Well, now you're going to go in like a rock star with a $100 gift certificate.
Yeah.
Well
awesome.
played. Yeah. And are you going to shop this weekend, do you think, for the long weekend?
Well, that's possible.
Okay.
We're going out today.
Well, you've
We
got
have
some
dates.
mad money.
Yeah.
Well,
We do.
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But Sylvia, hold on the line. Congratulations on winning the final meat draw of the week. That is great news. But you know what? This has been so much fun. It's been crazy busy. I think people have liked the meat draw, so we might try to bring it back later this summer, Lisa.
I think that's a good idea. I think we should just exercise the moderate amount of power we have and make that happen.
Okay, so stand by, maybe ahead of the next long weekend.
Ooh.
Here's a guy, we got Labor Day still to come,
We sure
right?
do.
Yeah, and there'll be more barbecuing, I'm sure.
There will be.
Or whatever, roasting, whatever it is, gathering. Okay, we'll talk to Sylvia. I'm going to get to the news.
Okay.
I got to recover. I got to sweat coming down my.
That was a lot.
Oh, I had to go through a lot of numbers there. Meat draws are no joke.
No, they're serious business, actually, as we've learned.
What's going on in the news, Lisa?
So are BC wildfires, unfortunately. 127 fires burning in our province, 49 considered out of control. We have 9 new starts in the last 24 hours. The good news for us locally is the 3 fires, older fires that are burning on Vancouver Island, are either in a being held status or under control. No new fires as we head into the long weekend, but keep in mind that campfire ban remains in place because it's very dry, even with the amount of precipitation we've had. A cold front with gusty winds expected to move through parts of the mainland on Saturday. That could create conditions to grow fires fast. The weather could bring extreme fire behavior in areas where BC communities are already threatened. The BC Wildfire Service's many areas remain extremely dry, especially the southern parts of the province that have been historically dry throughout this month, with high flammable fuels likely to increase new wildfire starts. Following the death of an 11-year-old boy in Calgary who had autism, calls are growing now for a Canada-wide framework for public alerts, in addition to Amber Alerts, which are currently limited to abduction cases. On Wednesday, Calgary police shared the sad news that 11-year-old Parker had been found dead inside the city's underground system of pipes almost 14 days after he disappeared. According to Autism Canada, nearly half of the children with autism are prone to wandering, and emergency alert systems are not properly equipped to respond when a vulnerable child disappears. Next door in Alberta, they got some good sniffers out looking for invasive mussels. 2 black labs and a black lab cross are working with humans to scan boats entering to make sure invasive mussels don't come with them. The humans use their hands and eyes to look on the boats, but Hilo, Jane, and Winnie use their keen noses. Mussels can eat food other creatures in the water would be taking and leads to fewer and smaller fish in lakes as well. And on the pitch, there's some drama. European soccer's governing body has voted to boycott all FIFA events, including the World Cup, over a proposal to sell stakes to private investment. FIFA President Gianni Infantino's plan would raise $20 billion to sell stakes in the World Cup to outside investors. An investor group led by Joshua Kushner, sound familiar? He's the brother of President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is reportedly expected to buy a 20% stake. All 55 member nations of UEFA held an emergency meeting today and voting unanimously to boycott FIFA tournaments if this plan is approved. The events would include the Men's and Women's World Cups and Club World Cup. And that is your news to 8:20.
Okay.
All right.
We've caught up.
All right. You need a towel. It's like a workout.
I had to chill out there for a second.
Wow. Well, rightfully so. I'm watching the numbers just buzz in.
Yeah.
And, the meat draw is kind of off the hook. So we got word from the boss. We're definitely going to do it again.
Okay, good. Meat draw will come back, not next week, but closer to the next long weekend.
Around the long weekend to set you up in fine form for the weekend, the long weekend.
And thanks so much to our partners at Glenwood Meats.
They're so cool.
Parkdale Drive in Langford.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking biochar coming up next. So as we've been learning in the news, the CRD getting a bit of money for a couple of major projects. One of them is to do with how we treat the solids that are separated from our sewage treatment.
Yes.
Biochar is the thing. What do we need to know? We're going to be talking to the chair of the CRD board, also Mayor of Sydney, Cliff McNeil-Smith, who's joining us next.
Right now at Borden Mercantile, oven-baked dog and cat food is on sale. Buy one, get one free on canned food and treats. Borden Mercantile on Borden Street near Quadra and Mackenzie.
Hey, it's time for CFAX traffic and weather. Things are continuing to look very smooth for the morning commute. Not as many people commuting today. Go figure. It's the Friday before a long weekend. Everyone's on the ferries instead, where it is very busy. We've got a sailing wait now at 9 from Swartz Bay to Swassen. The 10 o'clock is your next available vessel, and there are heavy reservations right through the day from Swartz Bay to Swassen on most of the sailing, so just be aware of that if you're taking a ferry. They did tell us yesterday, we spoke to BC Ferries, and they mentioned that this BC day-long weekend is one of their busiest travel times of the whole year. For the weather, it is going to be a sunny day today. A few clouds, but mostly sunny. Highs of 23. A little cooler by the windy Wandafuka Strait, but a humidex of 26. Feeling a little warmer in that humidity. Sometime after midnight, some showers begin. They last through Saturday. We will see even a risk of a thunder shower tomorrow afternoon. But that's the only blip on the long weekend. Otherwise, Sunday and Monday look sunny with temperatures on Sunday getting up to 20. On Monday, getting up to 25 degrees right now for the temperatures at the Victoria International Airport. And around Sydney, it's 18 degrees.
Ryan and Lisa are ready when you are.
Good morning.
Day or night, find the highlights under latest audio at CFAX1070.com and on the free iHeartRadio app.
Well, local governments getting $7 million in a couple of big infrastructure funding announcements that we've been hearing about in the news. Metchosin awarded some money for its fire hall project, but the Capital Regional District is getting funds to build a facility to convert biosolids, so the stuff we separate in our sewage treatment process, to turn that stuff into something called biochar. We've talked about this on the show for a while. This has actually been brewing for a long time, this debate about whether or not this is the thing to do. Now there's some money to do it. But what is it, and how's it all going to work? Let's talk to the CRD board chair, Cliff McNeil-Smith, who's joining us on the line to talk about what it all means. Sir, how you doing?
Good morning, Ryan. Thank you for having me.
Great. So, yeah, first off, the federal funding, congratulations on getting this. How much money is going to go towards this project?
It was announced the CRD will receive $7 million in funding to the new biochar project that's currently in the planning stages, and we're just thrilled to receive such a significant investment from the federal Build Canada Strong Fund.
How big of a dent does that put into the cost of this thing for you?
Well, the final cost is still being negotiated with the proponent. In the proposal, the financials will come forward to the board in the new term in 2027. But it is a significant portion of the overall project.
And does this help out taxpayers at all? I'm just thinking, bottom line for taxpayers, you might think like, oh, if we're getting some federal funding, does that mean it'll be a little easier on us on our local tax bill to pay for this whole thing? Or does that come into this at all?
Absolutely, very directly so. This would be that $7 million we would have had to borrow, and then the debt servicing costs would have been passed on to residents throughout the region.
Oh, that's great. So this is a savings for taxpayers in the region, and that's great news. Okay, so that aside, let's talk about what biochar actually is and what this project will look like. Take us through what this is.
Oh, sure. So as you mentioned at the top, the biosolids is one of the byproducts that comes out of the wastewater treatment process. Wastewater treatment process occurs at the McLaughlin Point Wastewater Treatment Plant in Esquimalt. So those residuals solids are transferred by pipe to what we call the residual treatment facility that's located at the Heartland landfill site. And it's through those processing there that the biosolids are created. So what we're looking at, or what the CRD has been pursuing, is a sustainable and cost-effective opportunity to maximize the value of those biosolids. And in 2024, the CRD board identified advanced thermal treatment as the preferred long-term approach for biosolids, primarily because of its ability to destroy contaminants of concern, including forever chemicals such as what are known as PFAS and microplastics. But there's also significant environmental benefits to using advanced thermal treatment to create biosolids, or biochar. So when it goes through that advanced thermal treatment, it turns from biosolids into a stable carbon-rich biochar product.
And then what do you do with that product?
So biochar has many significant beneficial uses and potential, including in the construction industry, for example, in the use of cement or concrete, industrial, agricultural, and forestry sectors. So because it's carbon rich and very stable, it can be used, as soil enhancement in those agricultural and forestry sectors.
And what do you actually need to do this? Do you need like a big plant at the Heartland landfill to, superheat the stuff and create the biochar?
Yeah, so a new processing facility. It has a relatively small footprint. Is planned to be located in close proximity to the residual treatment facility on the Heartland site.
Okay, so that is kind of in the planning stage, as you mentioned. But now, with $7 million from the federal government, it's going to help with the costs of bringing this forward. We're talking to Cliff McNeil-Smith. He's the mayor of Sydney, but he's, of course, also the chair of the CRD board, where he's dealing with this issue. Anything else you think listeners should know about this money, but also this biochar project and what's ahead for us?
No, another very important component about biochar, and this is the significant environmental benefit, is it can capture and store carbon for hundreds of years.
Oh,
that would be released into the atmosphere. So, yeah, just great benefits there too.
And is that even if you then use it for fuel later, or is it if you kind of store it?
Yeah, it can be stored, and then as I say, the biochar can then be used for different projects. So, in summary, the biochar projects is really an important investment for the CRD in an innovative technology. It'd be the first of its kind project in Canada, and so this is where we're going in new technology for wastewater treatment and resource recovery, and we're just really excited to bring it forward.
Fascinating stuff. That's great news. Thanks for talking to us about it, Cliff McNeil-Smith, CRD board chair. We'll talk again soon, I'm sure.
Thanks so much, Ryan.
All right, we'll leave that there because we got the 8:30 news next. Then we're going to get into our Friday food vibes. Dallas and the Vic Food guys will be joining us for the rest of the show, talking about some great things to eat over the BC Day long weekend. So stand by for that.
From CFAX 1070.
Here's what's happening around the island. Victoria Symphony presents Symphony in the Summer Festival, July 10th through August 9th. Details at victoriasymphony.ca. Catch all the excitement of summer baseball with the Victoria Harbour Cats. More info at harborcats.com. Have an event you want featured on CFAX 1070? Text us at 71010 to be featured. Get more event info at CFAX1070.com.
If it's happening, it's here.
CFAX 1070.
CFAX Victoria.
An iHeart radio station. If it's happening,
it's here.
CFAX 1070.
Good morning, 8:32 on Friday, July 31st. Looking at some sunshine today, some rain tomorrow, but then sunshine for the Sunday and Monday of our BC Day long weekend. Full weather weather details to come, but right now the news begins with Lisa Best.
Thank you and good morning, Ryan. Two major unions in the U.S. have written a letter to the U.S. president urging him to reconsider the tariffs he's laden on Canada. CTV's Joy Melbourne has details.
The unions argue that Canada is the wrong target and the real rival is China, suggesting the U.S. confront their unfair trade practices.
It's been a bit confounding to us as an international union why we as the United States have been targeting really a country that's been our best friend.
They argue Trump's tariffs will only disrupt manufacturing and hurt workers on both sides of the border.
They're scared about their jobs being lost.
The call comes as Canadian officials met with U.S. counterparts for more trade talks in Washington, D.C. this week, but we've yet to get any updates on how those talks actually went. WestJet cancellations could start mounting today as the airline prepares for a possible strike by some 4,400 flight attendants as soon as Sunday. The airline and the union representing those staff members have traded a 72-hour strike and lockout notices, so it's serious. They do remain at the bargaining table, though, trying to reach a contract last minute. Money and hours unpaid are at the center of this dispute. CTV's Janice Golding has the latest details.
The main stumbling block is a credit hour system. The union alleging some flight attendants are working up to 35 unpaid hours every month. They're now asking to be paid for their entire duty period and not just for flight time plus a partial ground duty payment. WestJet CEO has responded by saying our commitment remains at the bargaining table where we will continue to work around the clock to come to an agreement that provides value. WestJet customers are now looking at backup plans.
I'd have to figure out how I'm going to get back to Washington. Probably drive to Vancouver from Penticton rather than catch a plane, I guess, if it came to that.
That's a nice drive anyway. WestJet operates 560 flights daily, carrying an average of 75,000 passengers. So having this happen on the August-long weekend, one of the busiest travel weekends of the year, will have maximum impact. Stats Canada says real gross domestic product rose 0.3% in the month of May.
The number topped Statistics Canada's own initial estimates for 0.1% growth in the month, as the economy seemed on track for a solid rebound in the second quarter. The mining, quarrying, oil, and gas extraction sector led growth for a second straight month. Some of the industry's usual spring maintenance work was either completed early or deferred. Offices of real estate agents and brokers were particularly busy and added growth in May. In its latest GDP figures, Statistics Canada's flash estimate calls for a gain of 0.2% in June. Naira Ahmed, The Canadian Press.
A SpaceX rocket is on a collision course with the moon next week.
Space tracking experts say that on Wednesday, a drifting SpaceX rocket unintentionally will slam into the moon after launching 2 lunar landers more than a year ago. Space tracking expert Bill Gray says impact could be near Einstein Crater on the moon's sunlit western limb at 7 times the speed of sound. But scientists aren't too concerned about the piece of space junk as more and more items cram into orbit. The space crash is expected to happen in the wee hours Wednesday, and eastern parts of the U.S. and Canada, as well as much of South America, are expected to get the best views. I'm Donna Water.
Nearly 22,000 watercrafts inspected for invasive mussel species in Alberta alone last year. Canines are among the team members now that scan for these small creatures to ensure they stay out of their waterways. Cindy Sawchuk is the lead for the Aquatic Invasive Species Operations and Conservation Canine Program.
The dog has been trained to detect the odor of golden mussels, zebra, and quagga mussels. And so these mussels really like to hide in, damp, dark places. A lot of them are hard to see with our eyes. So the dogs are really complementing that human inspection.
Large populations of invasive mussels can disrupt food chains with excessive feeding, and that leads to depleted fish in the water and smaller fish too. And the U.S. president says there is a deal to disarm the Palestinian militant group Hamas. NBC's Matt Bradley reports he made the announcement yesterday on Truth Social, saying the Board of Peace has reached an agreement.
It's unclear whether or not this is actually going to be moving ahead. We haven't heard officially from Hamas or from Israel, though Ghazi Hamid, a senior official and negotiator for Hamas, did say that Hamas's disarmament was contingent upon Israel withdrawing from the Gaza Strip fully.
We'll see what happens next. And that is your news to 8:37. Your CFAX 1070 news poll question today, we're asking, do you think local police and fire departments should amalgamate? 55% saying yes now. You can vote at CFAX1070.com, Twitter X, also the iHeartRadio app. And Lisa Best, your news time is 8:39.
Thank you, Lisa. It's almost time to talk to the Vic Food guys.
Right on.
Dallas is here. He's in the studio.
I know.
He just showed
He's
up.
graced us with his presence.
I
thought I heard cherubs and heard things from the heavens.
Angelic,
and here he is.
Angelic noises.
That's it.
Yeah. We're going to do that in just a moment, but let's get to the sports. And I will tell you that there's so many things happening in local sports. I think the big thing coming up tonight is, of course, that locally, Pacific FC with their home game. First time we've seen them at home for a while, and it'll be the first time we've seen new coach Terry Dunfield on the home pitch. He's, of course, the former Canadian national team midfielder who officially took over recently. He was there coaching last weekend when they lost 3-2 in injury time to Atletico Ottawa. But can they do it tonight against FC Super de Quebec? Starlight Stadium is the place. Pacific FC. Let's see what happens. They're still winless on the season, looking for that first win. Victoria Shamrocks finished off the regular season last night with a 6-1 win over the New Westminster Salmon Bellies. The playoffs for the Shamrocks begin on Tuesday, and they go out winners, as they've been all season. Junior A Shamrocks already into their playoffs. Last night, a 15-7 win over the Coquitlam Adnacs. The series now tied up at 1 game apiece in that first-round playoff for the Junior A Shamrocks. Victoria Harbour Cats with a win last night against Port Angeles Lefties. 5-1 the score at Wilson's Group Stadium, Royal Athletic Park. That means they complete a series sweep of the Lefties and now hit the road for the next 3 games. And for the BC Lions, they were live right here on the radio yesterday with a win, beating the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 35-19. That's your sports to 8:40. CFAX 1070 traffic and weather. One sail away to BC Ferries. You're going to get used to hearing that today. It's a busy day at BC Ferries heading into the long weekend. So the 9 o'clock is full. The 10 o'clock, though, is looking all right with 80% full. Still some space left there. The roads continuing to look clear, but watch out for that single lane alternating traffic continuing at Burnside and Washington. And for the weather forecast, mainly sunny today. It's already 18 degrees. We're heading towards a high of 23. It might feel a little warmer with a bit of humidity in the air. Also, though, a bit of wind blowing off the Wandafuke Strait today, so could be cooler if you're there. Overnight, that's where the showers begin. Sometime after midnight, we expect the showers to roll in, last through parts of tomorrow, even a risk of a thunderstorm in the afternoon. However, we could even see some sunny breaks in there. It might be a kind of a toss-up of a day. Then back to some sunshine on Sunday with a high of 20. Monday, sunshine, high of 25 degrees. Right now, for the temperatures across the region, I mentioned that we're at 18 degrees right now, at least as the official temperature at the Victoria International Airport. It's already a bit warmer in some places. It's at 19 at Shawnigan Lake.
Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
Well, here we are on a Friday, and on a Friday, sometimes we like to kick back and talk about food. Let's do that.
Keep talking about food.
Yeah, I got this going.
Eat it. Just eat it. Come on, then, let's go. Friday food vibes.
You ever think about what we put into our mouths?
All the time.
You are cooking.
On CFAX 1070.
Hey, Dallas from the Vic Food Guys is here. How you doing, Dallas?
Doing great. You know, in person, when I'm here, that hits a little bit differently.
Right?
Yeah, it's like the animal's out of his cage now. Now we can go a little nuts here.
You are off leash, buddy.
I didn't sleep very much last night, but I'm ready to go.
Okay.
I'm so glad you're here, Dallas, because I've been thinking about you a lot, because I was just in Europe, as some of our listeners know. I was away for a couple of weeks. That's where I was. I ate a lot of things, and I would always be thinking of Dallas as I tucked into whatever it is I was eating.
So, question for you then. What was the coolest thing that you consumed when on your trip? Like, what is that?
Well, there's two things. One is the actual thing that stood out to me, but the other thing is just one of the themes of the trip was we'd be hiking up these mountains in the Alps, and at the top of the mountain would always be some kind of place serving food. Even though you're out in the middle of the wilderness, it was still like Europe. There's still food service everywhere.
Civilized.
Pie. There's pie everywhere.
Really?
Delicious berry pies.
Really?
With pastry cream in them. Oh, so good.
Well, you did put a post up about having pie at 10 a.m.
Exactly. It was great. Pie all the time. But the thing that stood out to me the most was in Italy, I had this pasta that had a sage butter sauce. And simplest thing, right? Just some fresh noodles, these little raviolis,
Hungry.
just butter and sage. Nothing else to it, but it was just mind-blowing how good and simple it was. And the food in Europe, excellent.
But it's the pasta though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and compound butters, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Which we don't really do. We don't do a whole lot here.
Yeah.
What is that?
Just a compound butter where it's like butter infused with something else.
Okay, I see.
So, you might have like a truffle butter or something.
Yeah, this was sage, and then they also had some of the fresh sage in there. So that's if I had to pick, that's what stood out to me. But also, charcuterie with every meal. I don't know why this is a thing, but breakfast time, here's some cured meats and cheese.
Yes.
Lunchtime, here's some more cured meats and cheese.
And beer.
Dinner, guess what? Cured meats and cheeses.
I love the fact that at the end of the day, you have sort of this reward of a different pie.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like, eh? Like at the end of the day, that's...
Or sometimes at the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
It really,
I'm down with dessert for the beginning of the day.
Anyways, we're getting off track because that was just what I was...
on track. We're talking about food.
No, this is the appetizer of the little segment today.
And let's get more into the appetizer because you've actually had some things recently you wanted to tell us about. So where do you want to take us?
So the first thing I want to talk about was on Wednesday, I went to Bao Theory. So it's a food truck that's located across the street from the Save on Food Memorial Center. And it's cool because they're serving up Taiwanese-style bao. And for anyone that doesn't know what that is, it's like a little sandwich almost. But it comes on this little pillowy, soft, white bun is the way I would sort of characterize it. They have one authentic Taiwanese bao. The other four that they have kind of take influences from other Asian countries. So a little bit of fusion going on. I quite like the soy garlic bao that they were doing. But they also have these cool fries, the umami fries where they have bonito flakes on top of them. And so
sorry, I don't know what that is.
A bonito flake is like a flake of fish, but when you put it on heat, it dances. So have you guys ever seen this?
No.
So if you ever see okonomiyaki, that always has bonito flakes on top, and when you get this Japanese pancake, there's little flakes that dance in the air, but it's from the heat.
I gotta see this.
So they have fries with those on top. One of the cool things for anyone who is vegetarian is instead of using tofu, they have a panko fried daikon cake that they have in there. They told me that tofu is used a lot of places, so they wanted to do something differently. And so they have this radish cake, this fried radish cake. Really cool. The flavor was there. I was really blown away. And again, this food truck is located across from Save on Food's Memorial Center. They do markets as well, but that's where they're sort of stationed. And then I finish it off with some popcorn chicken.
Amazing.
I drive past them all the time. I'm like, what is bao? Now I know. So wait, daikon, I'd eat it raw because it's apparently really good for your liver.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah, so how does it change the flavor when they put the panko on it and fry it?
No. So the thing I appreciated about that is, when you have radish, sometimes it can be pretty strong.
Yes.
This was more of a subdued flavor. Oh. So it was there. You could taste it.
Right.
But it was just so vibrant and fresh. Oh. And I commented to them at the moment. I'm like, I appreciate that this wasn't overpowering. But the flavor's there. You get the flavor if you like it.
The soft radish flavor.
100%.
All right, Bao Theory. It's a food truck across from the Save on Foods Memorial Center. Check it out. We got much more to talk about, including some stuff that's going to be happening over the weekend ahead, the long weekend. So we're going to get into that in a moment with our Vic Food Guys chat. But first, let's get to the news headlines at 8:48. Here's Lisa.
Good morning. The head of two major unions writing a joint letter to U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer urging him to reconsider proposed tariffs on Canadian imports. The presidents of the United Steelworkers Union and the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers say trade practices must not drive a deeper wedge between the two countries. The union leaders say they're open to working with Greer on a different path towards resolving tension over trade. Tension and turbulence in the air. We're watching closely for updates from WestJet and the union representing from some 4,400 flight attendants that could be on strike as soon as Sunday. The airline says flight cancellations could begin as soon as today as they gradually wind down operations in anticipation of that work stoppage. WestJet is Canada's largest airline at this point, more than 500 flights on any given day, carrying more than 75,000 passengers daily. So having this occur on the busiest long weekend of the year is going to have maximum impact. And Hamas says it has reached an agreement to disarm. The significant move could help to end the war in Gaza, but it's one that will face many hurdles and could take a long time to achieve, if at all. The groups agreed to a roadmap as long as Israel makes concessions, including ending hostilities and withdrawing its troops from Palestinian territory. Israel has not commented on the deal, which the U.S. president announced hours earlier. That's your news to 8:49.
This summer, 3 of Vancouver Island's biggest voices are coming together to make a real difference.
Get your tickets now for the Kids Count Mega Summer 50/50.
Brought to you by 107.3 Virgin Radio, CFAX 1070, and CTV.
In support of CFAX Santa's Anonymous all-new Kids Count program, supporting children beyond Christmas.
The Mega Summer 50/50.
Your chance to win big while giving back.
Buy your tickets today at CFAX1070.com.
Gaming event license 174660.
CFAX 1070 traffic and weather still looking good out there. No crashes. Hardly anybody commuting today on that long weekend style of drive. If you see otherwise, text at 71010. One sailing wait at BC Ferries. Swartz Bay to Swass at 9 o'clock. Sailing is full. And the weather today, sunshine for the day. Highs of 23, a little warmer with some humidity, but some showers coming overnight, kind of after midnight and then through tomorrow. Even a risk of a thunder shower in the afternoon. But it's clear and sunny again for Sunday and Holiday Monday.
The best way to start an island morning. Ryan and Lisa on CFAX 1070.
And we're doing this.
Oh, eat it. Just eat it.
Come on then, let's go.
Friday food vibes.
You ever think about what we put into our mouths?
All the time.
Just eat it. You are cooking.
On CFAX 1070.
We're talking to Dallas of the Vic Food Guys, and I got a couple of responses to our conversation just a few moments ago. This texter says, I've seen this, the dancing thing, what did you call that?
Bonito flakes.
The bonito flakes. The texter says, I've seen this. Victoria Sushi Fried Tofu has them.
Yeah, that would sound on point to me. Yeah, they're very cool.
Cool. Okay. Good stuff. Another texter says, hey, pasta with butter and just fresh ground Parmesan. It's all you need. Yummy, says the texter. Okay, but what else you got for us? There's a bunch of stuff happening.
Yeah, there's always a whole bunch of stuff. And that's one of the nice things about the region here is that there's always more. And you think you know everything. Well, surprise, because there's going to be new stuff. Like I prepped for this thing this morning. And I'm going to throw this in first, actually. So last night I was doing all my prep for this. This morning I wake up, new thing. You know, there's always something going on. So there's a place called Soul's Toast that's going to be now opening as of today in front of the Royal BC Museum. And
is it like a food truck?
Yeah, so it's a food truck. They were previously in Chemainus, and then they moved to the Malahat, and now going to be in front of the Royal BC Museum. A lot of people have been waiting for this, and this is Korean street food sandwiches. So you get this thick-cut bread, thick-cut toasted bread, and then you might have things in there like, like cabbage, maybe some sliced eggs, pickles, maybe hash browns, maybe a shrimp patties, smoked tuna, ham, just a different combination of things. And then just various sauces. But this is going to, if you're a fan of toast, basically, this is going to be something that you probably haven't had before. Very unique for the city. But yeah, Soul's Toast is now opening as of today, which I was really excited about. And he's a very, very nice guy that owns and runs that.
And you said it was by the museum.
Yeah, just out front of the museum. So yeah, really, really, really cool. A lot of people have been waiting for that, and today's the day.
All right, Soul's Toast, first item on the list. What else you got?
Yep, and so on Wednesday, I went to the kickoff event at the Malahat Skywalk for the Cowichan Valley Wine Fest.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I was hoping to see you there.
I was still kind of jet-lagged and recovering, but I did do the Cowichan Valley Wine Fest a couple of years ago because it's not just like a one-day event. This is a month, isn't it, that they kicked off?
Yeah, so it's for the whole month. One of the cool things at that event, because, I always err more on the side of food than drink, was Beaumont Catering. I had never heard of them. They did a phenomenal job catering that event. All the food was great. But as you said, this runs for the entire month of August. There's a dozen wineries that are participating. You can go onto the WineFest website. I don't have the address here, but you can get a ticket for $55. That will give you a tasting at every single winery up in the Cowichan Valley. So if you're a fan of wineries, this is a great place, to go and experience all of it. I don't think I'd ever had the wine from Cherry Point before. And that was the one when I tried.
Delicious, isn't it?
Yeah, so when I had that thing, I was like, oh no, because if I open one of those bottles, we're not stopping.
There's no portion control.
I like that as a gauge of wine. My wife and I have this because sometimes there's a wine that you have a glass and you're fine. You move on and it sticks around on the counter for a few days. And then you have the bottle of wine that you didn't even realize you finished in one session. You're like, wait a minute, it's gone? Oh no! Those are the wines that I put my big stamp on. This was a wine that disappeared immediately without even trying. And yeah, I can hear you on that.
Yeah, I almost did a shooter with it. I'm not even sipping and enjoying it. I'm just like this. Oh, this is like juice.
Okay, so what was it again?
That was Cherry Point.
Okay.
That winery. But yeah, so the Cowichan Valley Wine Fest going for the month of August.
Yeah, so you buy the ticket, and with that, you can get in and do a tasting flight at all of these different wineries. It's a really cool way to explore the Cowichan Valley, and you can also do it over several weekends. Since it's all month, you don't have to go do it one thing.
100%.
You can spread it out. Okay, what else is going on?
Yeah, and so I mentioned this last week, but tomorrow, the Thirsty Chef event is happening in Market Square. Tickets are $65. You can still get them. Happening from 12 to 4 p.m. tomorrow. This is in support of the Victoria Kool-Aid Society, so it's going to a great cause. And what this is local chefs being paired up with craft breweries. So if you want to go and experience really unique things, unique pairings, they're going to have live music there as well. But the vibe at this event, this is, for me, one of the most enjoyable food events out of the entire year, I think. Just because of how it's structured. And, shout out to Mike and Lee from the Drake.
So the Drake, they're kind of behind it? Or?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, they're putting it on. It is just for me personally, it's one of my most enjoyed events out of the year, I think, with food.
Okay, one more time. It's at Market Square. It's when?
It's tomorrow from 12 to 4 p.m. It's called The Thirsty Chef.
Wow, okay. There you go. It's Dallas with the Vic Food Guys, and we could just do this for hours, but we're going to have to call it there because we're out of time for today, for the week. Dallas, let's do it again next week.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And have a wonderful long weekend, everybody. We'll be back with you on Tuesday.